Well, hello, hello, hello. Well, my my intro video didn't play. Hold on one second. Let's do this. Well, hello everyone and blessings. It is so good to see you all again, and I think I just said blessings instead of blessings. So let me just say blessings and hello everyone. It is so good to see you all again. Hi Connie, my bestest mod of mods. Hello Miss Barbosa. It's good to see you. Aaron. Aaron says breaking news, breaking news. All hello hugs to all that need them, and face plants to those that want them. That's funny. Okay, so in case y'all haven't heard, there has been a huge decision in the Brian Koberger case, which is the Idaho 4 case involving the murders of um, Madison Mogan, Kaylee Calvez, uh, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. I had to think for a second there because I got their names out of order. Um, and Brian Koberger is the man who is alleged to have killed them. That's fine, Aaron. Aaron says, I've been on TikTok because I couldn't take YouTube anymore, so I'm goofy. Well, I'm glad you're in good spirits. I love it when people are in good spirits. It's always a blessing for others to be in good spirits. Um, so, anyways, back to, well, let me just pull it up and I'll show you guys and then we can talk about it. And I'm going to have an open panel discussion for anyone that would like to come up and discuss it. I don't know if y'all are like me, but I have been borderline infatuated with the Idaho 4 case since it happened. I remember waking up to the news that these four beautiful college students had been murdered in their beds, basically, um, horribly. Um, and it took us a little while, but in December, or not this past December, but the December before that, because it's going, what is it going on? It's been 2 years. It was 2 years in November, right? Since they passed away. Yeah. Um, Going on 2 years. And we're getting closer and closer towards justice for Maddie and Ethan and Xana and Kaylee. So, yes, taken way too young, Connie. Way too young. So, um, Brian was arrested and he's, had many hearings and there's been arguments on both sides. And we're getting close to trial. Trial's coming up. So, we're having all of our pre trial motions and stuff. And one of the arguments from um, his attorney, Ann Taylor, was that the DNA evidence couldn't be used because it was collected without a warrant. Um, and there's been a motion. The judge has made his decision in the DNA evidence. So I'm going to play that for you guys real quick and then we're going to discuss it.
Back to Besa is bringing the uplift right to you. When you download the Fox Local app, you can watch any episode anytime. Find joy with Back to Besa
Well,
on
that's
Fox
not it.
Local, available now on all streaming platforms.
Here we go.
This is breaking news.
Well, thanks for joining us today. For Fox 13 News at 4, I'm Matthew Smith.
I'm Hannah Kim. We begin with breaking news regarding Brian Kohberger's trial. The judge has denied a defense motion to throw out the all-important DNA evidence that prosecutors say links Kohberger to the crime scene.
Genetic material was found on a knife sheath at the same home where University of Idaho students Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were stabbed to death back in 2022. Now, investigators used family tree data banks and trash collected from Kohberger's family home to match him as a suspect. The defense argued that Kohberger's constitutional protection against unreasonable search and seizure was violated because his DNA was collected without a warrant.
But in today's ruling, the judge found there is no reasonable expectation of privacy when it comes to evidence collected at a crime scene. Had the judge sided with the defense, everything the police found after identifying Kohberger through DNA would have also been thrown out, including the cell phone pings that placed Kohberger near the victim's home and security camera video showing a car pictured near the crime scene matching Kohberger's personal vehicle.
Kohberger's jury trial is set to start in August. Prosecutors said that they will seek the death penalty if he's convicted. Of course, this case has already seen multiple twists and turns just in the past month.
Yeah, we've been following all the developments in our ongoing documentary and podcast series, Brian Kohberger, Inside the Idaho Murders. Episodes are streaming now on the Fox Local app and wherever you get your podcasts.
So there you have it. The DNA evidence stays in. And I believe the DNA evidence is some of the most important and the strongest evidence in this case against Brian Kohberger that is likely to lead to his conviction. So, with that said, I'm going to open up the panel if anyone would like to come up and discuss this further. Let's see here. There we go. If anyone would like to come up and discuss it, that would be great. Um, if not, we might open up the phone lines. But I kind of knew that this decision was coming because exactly there is no reason. Willer B. Oh, hey, Willer. Willer B said, I have a question. The way they got this DNA from the beginning, I think this may be heard by the Supreme Court before it's over. Well, the only way that it could go to the Supreme Court at this point is if there is a challenge to the judge's ruling. And there's going to have to be a constitutional violation claim against the judge's actual ruling before it will go to the Supreme Court. But at this point, I don't know that it's going to move forward anything short of the completion of trial. It'll be one of those things, I believe, an appeal will come after the trial on that if an appeal is going to be granted. Blah blah blah. I can't speak. Hold on a second. Let me get a drink of this apple juice. So we know Ann Taylor has been fighting this DNA evidence for a while now. Um, a lot of the evidence the defense is asking to suppress. I believe one of the arguments that was given is, well, there is no, um, the judge ruled that there is no reasonable expectation of privacy at a crime scene. And then the other argument was that Brian's rights were violated whenever they used ancestral DNA from one of his extended family members to compare the DNA to because, well, it didn't really apply to Brian's um, constitutional rights of privacy being violated or anything because it wasn't Brian's DNA that they tested it against in the database. It was the cousins, the extended family members' DNA. So, but I'm not sure. Um, I don't know. Um, Wheeler, can I ask you what do you mean about from the beginning? At which beginning you mean, darling? You can't search an entire apartment complex to find drugs in one. Search warrants have to be narrow in scope. Right, but there you don't need a search warrant because it meets the requirements of exigent circumstances whenever it's a crime scene. Like there is no such thing as you have to go get a search warrant after people call 911 and say there's people that have been, their lives have been ended um, in the house you're in. Does that make sense? But yes, search warrants do have to be narrow in scope. You are absolutely correct about that. But they didn't need a search warrant to collect the evidence from the crime scene. Like law enforcement was called to the house because of homicides that had taken place. Does that make sense? Let me see. I'll pull that up for you. Okay. Exigent circumstances are emergency situations that allow law enforcement to search and enter a location without a warrant. The exigent circumstance doctrine is an exception to the Fourth Amendment's warrant requirement. Examples of exigent circumstances include preventing the destruction of evidence, preventing the escape of a suspect, preventing harm to people, entering a burning building to put out a fire, hot pursuit of a fleeing felon, um, risk, and this is just examples, risk of danger to law enforcement officers or to the others inside the property. And then you have, how exigent circumstances are determined, and courts apply a case by case analysis to determine if exigent circumstances are met. The officer must have facts to reasonably believe that an emergency is occurring. Um, yeah. Let me see here. Right. Okay. Awesome, Willie. Will be. Is it will be or just will? Would you prefer to be called Will? So, but from what I understand, if there's any kind of emergency circumstance, that would be, exigent circumstances, which would allow police, emergency crews, um, and other people to enter the property without a search warrant or anything like that. Um, and then let me look it up at a crime scene. Um, well, not to mention, I mean, the other roommates, you know, called them to the property. Like, you know what I mean? I wonder if that plays into it here because the roommates were there and they called the police. I don't think they needed a warrant. There you are.
Hello, hold on. Let me mute my. All right, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Welcome, welcome, Wilby. I see you everywhere, and I respect your opinion. So,
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
definitely think he's guilty, but I don't know. I think this will eventually Taylor put that motion forward because I think she'll on appeal she'll push it higher in the courts to be looked at. Just my opinion.
Yeah. Do you? Is it okay if I call you Wilby?
That's fine.
Okay. Wilby. What do you mean, like about the DNA from the beginning? About.
I mean, just the way they went through the ancestry thing. Search
Hmm.
warrants are supposed to be kind of more narrow in their scope. You're supposed to in the warrant. You're supposed to say what you're looking for and kind of where.
Huh.
You know, you don't search an apartment. Say you're looking for a a bazooka, and then start opening little bitty drawers to look for something else. And they just have to be pointed in one direction. And to me, the ancestry DNA is like searching an entire apartment complex to find drugs in one.
Uh huh.
Kind of. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm no
Well,
legal.
that's interesting that you say that. But do you think that they're gonna? I mean, this is I'm asking. I'm not like implying anything. I'm just asking. But do you
Loki,
think
be
that they're
quiet.
gonna be able to claim that it was a violation
I
of
think they'll try.
Koberger's
I think they'll
rights
try. Absolutely.
with it being a relative's DNA that was even looked into on the
Again, I
evidence?
think they'll try. This is kind of one of our first dives into this ancestry thing. Uh,
It is. I mean,
and
like
I just
this.
think
You know what I mean?
it'll eventually move up the courts, and there'll be a decision made. How they narrow the scope and what's okay and what's not.
Yeah. Hmm.
We'll see. I don't know.
That's
I
interesting.
definitely think he's the guy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to say, oh, there's no possible way he's the guy. And I know everybody's like, it was touch DNA. It was touch DNA. Yeah, but it was on
Yeah,
the
it's still
underside of a
DNA.
snap. I mean, it's not like you just go into Walmart and you pick something up and it's got your DNA on the outside of it. Where the DNA was found
Yeah,
proved
it's
to
like saying
be
there's a drop of blood,
who.
versus a whole puddle. Still
Yeah,
their blood.
right. Exactly. I agree with that 100%. So do you think that they're going to file do you think that they're going to file a
It'll all
guilty plea
become after
after?
the trial. Like if he's
Yeah.
convicted, I think that's why she brought the motion before the trial. So she'll have grounds to appeal after the trial. That's you know.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, Ann Taylor's a good lawyer. People don't like her, but hey, she's doing her job.
Yeah, she really is. I think there's some places that she's grasping, and I don't think it's gone her way in the favor of the court because of just what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, but what do you think about the other DNA samples found in the
I
house?
you know I've just heard a little bit about that in the last little few say week or so, and I hadn't really dove into it. I really don't know what have they found.
Well,
There were
allegedly,
unknown samples, I believe, before, right?
yeah, well, yes, that they couldn't even enter into CODIS because they didn't meet the requirements or something. Like
So that's kind of
they couldn't even enter it into evidence or anything because it didn't meet the requirements
that's
by
odd, but I
law
don't
set
know
out
enough
for
about that
evidence.
to understand why or why not. So,
Yeah,
hmm.
I don't either.
It's
Now,
definitely going to bring up a question. Jurors will go on answers. So,
right now with the tie with the glove outside, I do see it as okay, it was outside of the house, it was outside of the property line. It might just be where someone changed a tire, had a glove off, cut their hand, and didn't want to put their hand back in a bloody glove and forgot it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I do think that the DNA in the home should be tested if it's blood.
yeah,
I mean, this is
they're
a
going to want to answer for that.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. And I think Koberger's guilty.
Yeah,
I mean, I
I
really
definitely
do.
think that. But proving it, you got to be 12-0. You got to get all 12 of them to agree. It just takes one to screw the
Yeah.
thing up. So a trial is a whole lot different than what we think.
Right.
Actually proving beyond a reasonable doubt and convincing 12 people. And
Yeah.
all
It's
she's got to do
completely
is bring
different.
up enough questions here or there. Next, maybe one or two jurors just can't pull the trigger, so we could end up either in a mistrial or not guilty. I don't think that'll happen, but you never know.
Do you think that this case is so known about? Do you think that there's really any such, like, do you think there's a chance of finding 12 jurors that have heard nothing about the case?
It would seem impossible to me, but that's from my perspective. But they'd have to live in a cave.
Have to live under a rock like
Uh,
Patches,
you know,
huh?
you. But there are some people that just don't follow the news, and they aren't YouTubers. But to me, it just seems, boy, that's going to be hard thing to find.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that do you think that this is going to set precedents in
I,
the appeals if Ann
well,
Taylor does
they
appeal?
by law they have to appeal if they go for the death penalty in a
Right.
capital case. So they'll go through all the appeals, and I think she's already setting up through her motion. She's already setting up her arguments for if she gets the wrong verdict, that she'll appeal this, appeal that, and then whether they uh, have any merit to them in the higher courts, who knows? Probably not. Most times they don't, but every once in a while something out of the left field comes in, and it happens.
Yeah.
How about all the gag order and the stuff we really don't know that's been kept from us? Do you think we're going to have very many some surprises?
I do. I really do. Um I think we're going to get some surprises with video evidence, and I think we're going to get some prizes with the data collected from his car for sure.
Yeah, I watched Gray Hughes did a thing on the cell data, and it pretty much gives you a roadmap of him moving down the road right to that house, parked outside for so long. The crime happens, and he speeds away. Now that doesn't put him, doesn't put him absolutely in the house or whatever, but to me, it's enough. It pretty much locks him in.
Right. I think that they're going to have even better than that.
Yeah,
My
they've only
husband.
given us part of it. Like say, there's
Oh
more.
yeah, way more.
Yeah,
My husband, he is a technician officer for a huge international company. Data is what he does. Okay,
yeah,
networking, and I mean, you name it. If it's got to do with the computer or the internet or networking or anything like that, my husband, he does it. But I think that something that is going to actually come into play that there's been rumors about is Bluetooth data. Um, because even if Brian had his phone turned on airplane mode,
yeah.
if he still had his Bluetooth enabled,
It
it
still
is going,
handshakes with everything he goes by.
yep, within up as close as 15 to 30 feet, I do
Yeah,
believe. Um, and it'll also, if you go within someone's uh Wi-Fi network, if you go within, the boundaries of the network within their home, it'll still mark that data too. You know what I mean? It'll tag that phone. Um,
absolutely. And there could be tons of more things he tapped into, in, you know, on his trip
yeah,
that they haven't
and
told us about.
I know that it's not the same as having his phone right there pinging with his Google Ping, within a 3 foot radius. But you can follow someone with Bluetooth tagging.
Yeah. Well, they've got video of him right at the house. I mean,
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be more evidence come out, like video that clearly shows his
I
license plate and
almost a
stuff?
wonder if they have an actual video of him getting out of the car, possibly going around the side of a building or the house or what. To me, that would be very possible.
Yeah. Well, you remember what Steve Concalves said about whenever you see the video that I've seen, you're going to wonder what he was doing there,
Exactly.
should he
That's
just
what makes
walk?
me think
That's
that.
what, yeah, yep,
It's
me
like they
too.
showed him something and said, "Now you can't say anything about this," and he had to keep quiet. But it's almost like he's seen the smoking gun
Gun.
evidence.
Yeah. Yeah. It's at this point, I'm almost thinking that they have so much against him that at the end of the day, maybe the DNA evidence isn't what's going to convict him
What
at
about the
all.
girls, though? There's just too much unknown about the two survivors, and I don't think they had anything to do with it. Don't get me wrong, but how do you just check out and not even one of them? I don't even think give a statement, did she? Basically,
Yeah, they both
basically.
gave statements. They
I
both
mean,
gave
but they
statements,
just
but
they we don't have any basic evidence of what they actually 100% did or did not do.
right.
Just sitting in
And
a room, frozen thing, and I do understand that. Don't get me wrong, but for all night long, I don't know.
see, I don't think it was a. I'm not so sure it was more of a shock face, scared thing as it was she was half asleep and didn't quite
Yeah, it's just
comprehend what
somebody
was
in the
going
house.
on
I'm
and went
going
back to
back to
bed.
bed, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because there were a lot of people in and out that house. That was not, out of the norm.
yeah. And it was right, at the end of the real COVID pandemic. So it
Yeah,
was normal to see someone with a face mask on at that point.
yeah, absolutely. I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah. Like before COVID, if you went into a bank with a face mask on,
I wore a
people
face mask everywhere.
well, yeah, but I mean in
Yeah,
most circumstances,
exactly. Banks. I don't know. If I
people
did,
are
I
gonna
went
be
in with
like,
my hands
ah,
up, not not out under.
right. But post COVID, it's like someone's got a mask on, big deal. Like
Yeah.
any other circumstance before that, you'd be like, why are they wearing a mask walking into a bank?
Oh,
Um,
exactly. What about though? Remember they talked about him the day or after or something where he was wearing gloves and a mask in a grocery store or a
grocery store,
or something.
yes,
That was odd. That's going to be kind of a little bit tricky to talk away,
right,
but
right. Just like whenever they raided his parents' property to get him to arrest him, he
didn't they
was
say
wearing
when
gloves
he
and
emptied trash he had gloves and a
separating his trash out in
yeah?
Ziploc
But
bags
there are
wearing
some weirdos that
gloves.
do that. No, that recycle to the level that would happen.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying that's
I
him, but
just,
I have
oof,
seen people that literally go out and recycle their trash and separate literally everything.
yeah. Well, I separate trash for recycling, but it's just rinsing it out and throwing it in a
Yeah,
blue
to a
container.
degree, but not out at the curb with gloves and a suit on.
Right. And why would you take your trash? Did you know it's actually a violation where he lives to put your trash in your neighbor's bin?
But pretty much is everywhere, from what I understand.
Yeah.
It's definitely frowned upon.
Yeah. Well, it's actually illegal where he lives. He could catch a city fine for it, a fine for it. Um, and if you get caught doing it so many times, it's called dumping, something dumping. But if you get caught too many times for it, you can get a real big fine and jail time too.
Yeah,
Um, but do you think that that's going to come into play too?
there's going
Of
to be a lot of things they're going to have to explain away, but the defense is going to try to bring up all kind of questions
right,
and things like that. I think they're going to try to move past them real quick so it doesn't stick in the jury's mind. Because the more they address and try to explain away some of that stuff, the more the jury's going to say that don't make sense. So they'll kind of move past it and try not to let it get highlighted. I think in the jury's mind.
yeah. Do you think that prosecution is going to bring up the fact that Brian Koberger tried saying that he was out stargazing as his
Yeah,
alibi whenever there
yeah,
was no visible
that is a little
sky?
odd. And, it's kind of odd too the times he had came by there in that area. How many times they say he had been through there before?
Quite a
A few
few.
at
I think it
least.
was what was it? Was it 12? 11, 12,
I
something
can't
like
remember
that.
the number because that's been a while since we covered all that. But it was quite a few, and it was like, damn, is he stalking them or is he? But they could explain that away by saying, well, because of the DRUG situation, they could say, hey, he was going by there to buy his whatever.
Yeah. But then he's going to have to, provide. the person that he was going
Yeah.
and seeing, and they're going to have to cooperate that. So,
Now the trial starts what, August?
does it start in August?
I
Did they
can't. I
have it in
think I
August?
don't know. It seems like I wrote that down. August. I could be wrong.
I
Maybe
forget.
sooner.
I thought it. You know what? I think it is August actually, because remember, JLR made that post about had to move it a month away or whatever.
Yeah.
It had changed. So
Yeah. When does the Koberger trial start?
he pulled out that
I
Google.
googled it. Yeah.
I love Google. I've got my Google degree. I tell you what, like Google is great.
August 11.
August the 11th. Yep,
Yeah.
August the 11th. Yep.
And I guess we shouldn't. There's no reason to see any delays at this point.
Yeah,
They're
no, none that
they're
I can
hearing all
see.
these motions, and I guess they've got some more to go through. I assume, but uh, I'll be glad when it does kind of get heated up, because at least it'll get the whole true crime people off this other utter nonsense. Uh,
Oh, I
I'm
know. I
so tired of
know.
this talking about a missing person where there's no evidence of a crime.
Of nothing. There's nothing. There's
Nothing.
nothing to go on it.
Nothing.
Nope. All there
And
is
I
to
know
talk
there's some
about with it
weird
is
stuff on both
drama.
both parents, but I don't think any of those parents did anything to that child.
I suspect all three of them.
Yeah,
I mean, honest to God's truth, their actions and their behaviors, like, I just
it's
can't
odd.
help it. All three of them are just
It's
off.
odd.
Yeah, it's real
I mean, if
odd.
my child were missing, the hell with YouTube, the hell with being interviewed, I would be out looking.
Yeah. And like some of the questions people pose in that case against one parent and then refuse to ask the same question of the other parent, it's so biased. Like, I don't understand. Um, and I know we got sidetracked, but
Yeah,
I,
I didn't mean to do that, but
no, you're
it's
fine.
just I'm glad. I hope this trial will kind of take that tension away and kind of get back on some true crime at least.
Yeah. Um, that's if you'll notice, I quit talking about Sebastian Rogers because
Yeah,
whenever whenever I realized that there was not going to be anything else to talk about except for the parents and their drama, I was done with it. Whenever Brittany J teamed up with Seth and they came over to my channel, whenever I was criticizing Seth for what he
yeah,
said about Sebastian, they came over here and bombed my chat and attacked me and
yeah.
started going off. And
It's
I was
so
like, no,
a
I'm
lot of the
done.
channels are so one sided. It's either Team Seth or Team the other way, and to me that's just ridiculous.
It is. I think it's ridiculous to buddy buddy up to any parent that's a suspect.
I agree, I agree, but it's almost like they think they got a feather in their cap or something. And
Yeah. Well,
oh
they've
look,
made,
there's Seth in our chat.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
I mean,
almost like they've made DC comic superhero out of Seth and a villain out of the Proudfoots or
exactly.
you know what I mean? It's like, I can't do it. I can't
Yeah,
do it.
I can't either.
I have no side except for that little boy's side. And when he's
Yeah, and
found, I'm
I
going to
hope
be
I'm
found.
wrong, but I don't see a good outcome.
The more I learned though about Sebastian, and finding out he was more lucid, and I know people are like, yeah, but that's what Seth said, so it might not be true, but I mean, if he was only diagnosed, a year and something before
Yeah,
he disappeared, I'm gonna say that he made it in school and stuff well enough that they didn't, because schools, if they notice your child, has a learning deficit or something, they will
yeah.
step in and help. And that didn't happen for Sebastian. So I question whether or not he was more,
A
um,
lot of autistic kids are uber intelligent in certain areas. I mean, way off the chart.
yeah.
And
I actually have an autistic son. And whenever it comes, look, my son can name the species, the genus, everything of like
exactly.
every bug, every animal, bones. He can name every bone in the human body. He can see a book with a piece of a bone in it and tell you what bone that is. I mean,
Hey, cat, we got to get off that right there. Over here,
I
bud.
can't do that.
I had to get my
I can
cat
tell
off
you
the
that.
desk. He likes to
So,
get up in the middle of everything.
but I think that with Sebastian's case, I have mixed 50-50 on it. I think that he either met someone online and walked out of the house and got in the car with them and is gone, and that person enticed him or whatever,
Yeah,
or I think that um, he never made it home, one or the other.
yeah. Uh, I think it's one of the two. Honestly, I don't think the parents did anything.
Yeah. Or he wandered out that door and got lost somewhere. And I do search and rescue, so I'm gonna tell you right now that really happens.
Yeah, I played golf in Tennessee in a lot of tournaments, and that area is very. There are a lot of deep drops, ravines, rocky uh, places. I could see that's an area where you could get just fall in the wrong place and kind of stay hidden for a while.
Yeah, it really is. It is.
It's not as open and you can see everything as people think at all.
Well, not only that, but you get up there and there's all kinds of like little caves and stuff and them little mountain valleys and
Exactly.
everything. So, but yeah, I think that case, I don't think we're gonna know anything honestly for another 10, possibly 30 years,
Yeah.
honestly. I think it's one of those cases, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sadly. But I mean, I do still have hope. I'm not saying that, they're gonna
Yeah. I
find
hope
him
I'm wrong.
tomorrow.
I hope we get hear some incredible story, but it
I
just
just
becomes
have
harder and harder for me.
Yep. I have that feeling it's gonna be one of those cases, they're gonna find him alive in 30 years, or they're finally gonna find him, out in the woods somewhere in 30
Yeah.
years. So, but
Yeah. I'm just ready for it to stop.
yeah, me too. Hooey, me
I mean, the
too.
court case is the most absolute ridiculous nonsense I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, come
Absolutely.
on. There's no way a lawyer wrote that legal document.
It's, you know
Period.
what?
End of story.
I thought we were being punked. I thought we were being punked.
I still think I don't think Lesniak wrote it. I think he's trying to save face and keep from getting disbarred. And
I
I don't
tell
know.
you
I just don't
what,
think there's no way any lawyer wrote that. And if they
kind of
did,
makes you kind of makes you think somebody'd have to have something really bad on you for you
there you're thinking like I'm thinking.
right?
And he looks like the type. Of course, I hate to say pigeonhole people like that, but he looks like the type of wacko that he and Nick could have some secrets.
Yeah. And
I don't
and
know.
I tell you what, I don't like Brittany Jackson because she is the most two-faced,
She's
lyingest,
she's
using people's
she's a
snake I've
mental.
ever met. But
Oh God, her thinking process is. I can't do it. All these channels trying to claim the moral high ground. None of us have the moral high ground. Starting with
no,
me, none
I
of
gotta
all of
pray
us have
every
behaved
day.
less than our best through this whole thing in
You know
some
what?
manner. But trying to claim that's the way they do. They're the one. They're the evil. No, the whole community has gone to crap.
Yeah, yeah, it really has, and it's
And
sad. It's sad.
yeah, but
And
they'll talk and absolutely convince themselves that it's the other ones. They're
yeah,
the evil. No,
yep,
y'all are sitting here talking about them just as bad as they're talking about
just as
you.
bad as they're talking about you. Yep. But I mean, I'm only gonna say my truth about Brittany. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I had a falling out with Brittany.
Oh, you did.
I used to be on her panel, yeah, every night.
What happened? I remember you.
Well, I was on panel, and one night, Brittany never researches. Basically, she Googles right at the point of contact, and they were talking about something, and I can't remember, but it's something that Crime Sleuthing had already covered the day before. I said, well, she did a video. Let me contact her and see if you can play it. She'll let you use it. Well, while I was in the back thing trying to contact her, she pops up out of nowhere while I was trying to, and her and Brittany start going at it like the biggest cat fight ever. And I basically got kicked off
Wow.
the panel by I don't know who. And for a week, her and they went back and forth, made me out to be the villain.
Oh,
But
you mean like she did Eddie?
Absolutely. Same thing.
Like,
Best thing that ever happened to me, though.
I
I've gone
tell you
on to meet
what,
so many more nicer and actually decent people through all that. But just like Eddie.
just like Eddie, I tell you what, I can't say anything but good things about that boy. Nothing but good. I
Yeah,
called him a boy.
Eddie's a good
I
man.
rephrase that. A good man. He is a good
And
man.
you know what she did to him? Had he actually done ABC 1, 2, 3, what she said, okay, that still doesn't warrant. But he did not do anything even close to her narrative of what she said he did. Not even
You
close.
not even within, not even on the same in the same. You know,
Universe. He
yeah,
made
not
three
even in the same
comments
universe.
on Jay's. I documented them. It was over like 4 minutes and something. None of them were negative towards her. After that, he didn't make a comment. Now, what was said about her in Jay's, I'm sure there were a lot of negative things. Whether he was there or not, I don't know. I'm sure he might have heard some, but he didn't participate. She said he was on panel, that he participated with all the people in chat
Hmm.
bashing her, blah, blah, blah. Then she said something about something he had said to you in a text or something behind the scenes, I believe. It just went on, and none of that
None
he
of
did
it
at
was
Jay in
true.
Jay's life. None of it.
None of it. Well, I'll break it down for you what happened um with the whole situation. Okay, I'm a member of Jay's, okay?
Yeah,
And I'm a member of Granny's. Okay.
yeah,
The one thing I like about those women is I can go back whenever I'm watching their channel and stuff, or I can go find receipts on the stuff that they say.
absolutely.
Actual receipts on what
Yeah,
they say. Not only that, but they treated me better than Brittany did, because the first time I ever went on Granny's watching to speak my piece and say anything, you know what that woman did? She listened to what I had to say, but she also told her chat to stop going at me because I was a guest on her panel.
yeah,
Okay. And she stood up for me. What did Brittany J do whenever she was supposed to be my friend?
yeah,
Whenever she was sucking up the T Rev, the fraudster T Rev, you know who I'm talking
yeah.
about.
Oh my God,
She let them people come in there in that chat and destroy me. That were
that's right.
from,
Then she shuts you off and takes away any voice you have to defend yourself
yep,
within her channel,
yep.
and uh, and does nothing to correct the narrative of chat. I think it's a creator's responsibility when chat gets so uh, off the path that they're saying things that are just a little bit beyond the reason about somebody. That a creator has got to say, now y'all hold on, y'all can say this and this, but don't go here. And she never does that,
No,
never.
she doesn't. Nope. And
And
you
she
know what?
believes anything.
What she did to Nana, and you know what? I gotta stop right there for a second first before I go any further. Nana's Dragonfly, I want to apologize to you because I am sorry I have hearing problems, and I thought it was you that made that statement about Seth, and I stand corrected. That was Reality Wins. I apologize. I had heard it said. I didn't watch the actual stream, so I thought it was you that said it because I'm partially deaf and you two sound a lot alike to me. I apologize. I was wrong about that. But Reality Wins, you did say that stuff, and you know what? You're a
Yeah.
liability to Brittany.
Reality Wins, I can't take. She gets on there, and one night she was on, oh my God. And everybody was saying, well, calm down, Reality. It was
Yep.
like they were dealing with a 9-year-old. It was ridiculous. She just, I don't know. Where did she come from before she came to Brittany's?
Hell. Oh, I don't know where she's literally from, but
I'm talking about what other channels. I mean, because I've heard
um,
somebody say one time, but I can't remember where they said. But Brittany's got she's got too many people that agree, and you know, the better panels are the ones where you have people who may disagree, but they discuss through it and bring out points. But her panel is just absolutely 100%. They'll agree. They can hear her sleeping. They can hear her snoring, and the chat will bring it up over and over. And then they every one of them will say, she wasn't sleeping. She was, they'll make up some excuse.
Yeah. But I feel bad for Nana though. It's almost like, and I don't know any other better way to put it than she treats Nana like a little, you know, puppy
Yeah,
dog that she's gonna to punish every
like a
time
side bitch.
and rub her nose in. Yeah, it's
I mean, I'm sorry,
horrible.
but yeah, I like Nana, but she's been treated way what I consider, basically disrespectful many times. But
Many times. But the whole back to what I was saying though about the whole Eddie thing. Let me explain to you what happened so you'll really get the gist of it. So I'm a fan of Jay. Um, I have been for a long time, right? I've watched her channel for a long time, and this was all even before any of the Britney drama, came to be or anything like that. But I did find Granny's watching because of Britney. She talked so much smack about her that whenever I figured Britney out for what
same
she
as me.
was, I was like, man, I gotta go check out this Granny lady because Britney's a liar. So I'm gonna go over here and do my own
Yeah, let's
research,
see what she actually is like.
right? And like I said, Granny, I was just, I mean, we're not friends. I mean, we're friendly, and stuff like that. And I'm one of her members, but we don't know each other. You know what I mean? But she
Yeah,
treated me with more respect than Brittany did whenever Brittany was claiming she was my friend, my actual friend. Brittany ain't got no friends, by the way. If you think you're
no,
Brittany's friend, I feel bad for you. I mean, that's the God's honest truth. If you think you're Brittany's friend, I feel bad for you. But what happened is I was watching Jace. I was over there and chatting everything, and uh, I didn't realize, um, like I had came into the stream later in the stream, and I didn't realize that Jay had, I guess, basically, trolled Eddie's panel, right?
yeah,
But what happened was evidently, uh, Eddie was himself, and he was the kind and respectful Eddie that he always is
he
because
never. I look
such
back, he
is
never
who he
realized
is.
it until Brittany shows up in the chat and points it out.
Right. And of course, she had her trollerators. They're not
Yeah,
moderators, they're trollerators. Um she had her trollerators, they keep a word out for they keep an eye out for Brittany all the time. But
yeah,
uh what happened was whenever Jay started bragging on Eddie and how cordial he was and how he stood by his, morals and what he said he was about was what he was about, you know what I mean? um I was like, hey Eddie, you got to come check this out. Jay is like totally giving you, some
she was
applause,
respectful.
right?
Yep.
And I had the messages and everything, and I've sent them and showed them to other people and everything, but that's besides the point. But so Eddie comes over there, and I didn't know still at that point it was a troll. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of. I think a few people knew it, not Eddie, but a few people in chat kind of started thinking it. But until the troll raiders showed up, they and pointed it out, nobody for sure knew it.
Right. But so, well, me and Eddie know each other. Okay. Me and Eddie have an actual friendship. I mean, sometimes, we call and just talk. We're
I,
friends.
me as well.
So Eddie, I tell him, say, Eddie, come over here. You got to hear this. Jay's propping you up because you were genuine. You were yourself and you're getting praise. So Eddie comes over there and he says, what was it? Three things in the chat. Like, are you guys enjoying my content? Was one of the messages.
Yep.
And then he said,
Everyone is welcome.
everyone is welcome. And then he said one more thing, and it was
They asked
something.
if he was still there, and he said, What did he say?
I-
Yes, I am." Or,
Yes, I am. That's what those three
and it
comments.
was over 4 minutes. I could pull my thing at 4 minutes and 30 some seconds.
Right. And then Eddie, after I mean, still during the live stream, he calls me, and I'm sitting there just absolutely, I'm talking smack about Brittany. Okay,
Oh yeah, she
I'm
got in there,
giving.
told him she had to get it. He had to get her off panel, and telling him what to do, like he was her step worker.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
in
Like
his
she,
stream.
and if you don't bow down to Brittany, she will do actually. If Brittany finds out you're friends with me and you're kicking it with me, she's going to kick you anyways, especially if you call me, because that's what actually set her off, that she's not admitting to anybody. She is one of those jealous, mean girls that thinks you can't be my friend and their friend because I don't like that person.
Yep.
And that's what it was all about. And then she lied on Eddie and said he called Regina and he was talking bad about me. No, Brittany, he did not talk bad about you. What Eddie told me was that you were his friend, and unless you ever did something to him
He would
to
stay
hurt
loyal.
him, he would stand up for you and still be your friend. And he wasn't going to take part in what I was saying. He stood up for her.
That's right.
You
And
know what I mean?
she turned it around, and he was on panel, and he stood around, and while he was in the chat bashing with the rest of them, and none of that happened.
None
And
of
she's
that
not
happened.
bothered to correct that, not one bit.
No, as a matter of fact, she doubled down on it and she does
I
this
saw
on
that.
live streams.
It's not right.
It's
Uh,
not right.
Not to change the subject, but I got a story you probably want to hear. It happened the other night. I was on a live stream in a community that I'm a moderator, and we'd been on an hour or so, and about an hour and a half, 2 hours in, a person come in the chat and said, "I need some help." Somebody said, "Well, what's up?" He said, "I'm a 15-year-old kid and feel like hurting myself." So he keeps on talking. I'm a moderator, so I immediately, as a moderator, I go to his channel, and he had like a dozen shorts and a couple 5-minute videos, and it showed. I started looking at some of them, and I was going back and forth with in back chat and with another girl that was in the chat, and I looked at one of the videos, and it showed. He said he had a weapon, and
Mm.
he kept making comments, and they were hollering the comments to me. So I saw a video. It showed the high school he went to. Googled it. It was all the way out in Washington. I won't say more than that. Uh, all the way across the country. Found the police department's number. We thought we had a troll. We were 90% sure it was a troll because there had been some stuff going on in the community. But I
Yeah.
said, we can't act, until we find out different, we have to act like it's not. Long story short, we contacted a friend was in the chat, contacted the police there in that town. They got a school liaison, identified the kid, went to his house. When they got there, they found his mom, and he had a weapon and a goodbye note under his pillow, and he's getting help
Ooh.
now. And it
Ooh,
happened
I
on a
got
live stream,
goosebumps.
and I don't want to drop the link because I don't want to. I don't want it to get out in people's, too much, to be honest with you. But I'll send it to you sometime, and you check it out. But it was honestly, and even right now, it makes the hair stand up on my neck. I feel like I don't think this kid was going to uh, harm himself, but the last short video he made that day before was, hey, and he had never been live. He said, "Hey guys, tonight I'm gonna try to go live, and I have a surprise for all of you." Not one smile or hint of joy in his eyes or anything, just blank stare.
Oh,
And so I'm thinking, I saw that the next day, and I'm thinking, wow, I think he was really going to do something. I really don't think he would have went through it. Like to think that, but I think he was going to do something drastic to get help. And how he showed up in this place I was at, I cannot tell you.
God, but
I
God.
have
I'm
no
a I'm
clue.
a Southern girl. I believe in God. I'm not perfect. I mess
I
up
do
every
too.
day.
Things happen for a reason.
Every yes, but God. That's
But
what we
it
call it
all
in the
went down
West.
in
But
about
God
45
moments.
minutes. And when it was done, everybody in the chat was like, I mean, it was like they were just exhausted. It was like, I believe we just maybe saved this kid. I don't know. But the police called the girl that helped me, was in chat back and forth, and the next day, and said they found a goodbye note, and he had his mom's weapon, and he had secreted it away from where she kept it hid. She didn't know. She wasn't aware. And they said he was getting help. So
That's amazing.
yeah,
Y'all did
I'll
save a
drop the
life.
live to some of you privately, but I don't want it to get pushed out too far, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I
So
won't do
people
that.
can go to this channel, and once you see it, you know what I'm saying,
I don't want to cause someone hate
yeah.
that's already going
And
through enough if
I
it has
feel
stuff
like
like that going
at
on.
some point I hope we hear more, but it's not our position to go further than we've gone. We did what we can do,
Y'all did the right thing.
it
Um,
worked. The way it worked, it was just the people that were helping that I was, getting Googling the numbers. I said, call the police, tell them it's probably a troll. We don't know that though. And find out they did that. They had the liaison officer. They identified the guy, the kid, 15 years old. And then the next day, if I give you the link to this video and you watch it, you just tell me what you think. And I'll do it in back chat here. And just give me a second. It's about a 15-second short. Let me find it. I've got to go through history here.
I'll save the link for it, but I don't want to cause that
Yeah,
person
yeah.
any
I
more
just want you to
grief.
kind of glance at it
Yeah,
a second when you get a chance sometime. And like I
yeah.
say, here we go. And all right, let me get in the back chat here now.
Well, I know I have a private chat.
Yeah, that's the short
There it is.
that he did the day before, and
Okay,
where he says he wants to do a live and he has a surprise. Well, anybody's got a surprise for for people on the short you think would have a hint of a laugh or a smile or something. Nothing.
and that's the video with him in the empty gymnasium.
That's no. You have to look at the. There was one where he was playing the guitar, and at some point I told him. I said, told the panel. I said, Weavy, ask him if he plays the guitar. I knew that he did, and Weavy plays the guitar. So that's what got them talking and kind of got them a little bit away from the dark side that kind of pushed them back to some common ground areas, and he finally calmed down. But man, it makes the hair stand on my neck right now.
Yeah, it's making the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
But the video of the high
Oh,
school one he had like 10 short video. He only started his channel on the 10th of February, which made us think immediately I was a troll. So I glanced through them and it had a high school picture in the gymnasium, which I Googled, and it was in town in Washington, all the way across the country. Then found that town, found the police department's number.
yes.
So we just kept on. I said, we cannot act like this is a troll, and it turns out it's not.
Yeah.
You know.
I hate to interrupt you and we'll get right back to it, Wilby. But Smith Dub asked, is breaking news Idaho what?
Yeah,
The
that's fine.
breaking
I just saw
news,
that.
yeah. The breaking news in the Idaho case is that the judge has ruled that the DNA evidence is going to be allowed. They are not going to what's it called? Suppress it. The DNA evidence is not going to be suppressed. There has been a ruling. It come out today, and the judge is going to allow all the DNA evidence, all of it. So, Willie, we'll be back to what you were saying. Um, that's that's incredible that y'all had the aptitude to not just go, "Oh, this is a troll." You know what I mean?
I mean, out of the blue in the chat, all of a sudden, hey, I need help. And the guy on panel, there was a veteran that kind of comes in there with us, and the channel creator, and he said, they started chatting with him. Then he started talking about he wanted to hurt himself. He didn't have friends his own age, and it kind of progressed. Like I say, while they were doing all this, I was looking at his channel, kind of glancing through the shorts. I seen the guitar video, I seen the gymnasium video, and I told my buddy, I said, hey, ask him about it. Does he play guitar? He does, and get him talking. And he started talking about that and kind of got away from the other. And he was thanking every one of us by the end. And but like I say, if you watch that short, the link I sent to you, where he
I
wants to
saved
talk
it.
about doing it live, he's just his stare is just blank.
Dead in the eyes. Yep.
But
That's amazing.
I hope it'll work out for him. I think he was just a cry for help, and that's why he wherever he landed that night, he was going to tell him what he told us. It just happened to be us. I don't know why. Really, I don't.
It's amazing that you even heard that cry for help, though, out of all of the noise and the chassis and
There were
stuff. You know what I mean?
probably 50 people in 35, 40 people in chat, maybe a little more than that watching. It was small. It's a small
Wow.
group,
Yep.
or it was that night.
Yep. Well, that's amazing still, though. I mean, just,
Yeah, y'all are the first. Tia
saved a
and
life.
Ella know about it, but y'all are the first people I've told. I've just kind of kept it bottled up.
Yep. Wow. You're a hero of sorts.
No, I'm not a hero. I'm doing what any one of you would have done. As a moderator, somebody comes in chat and makes comment, you can go straight to their uh, YouTube channel. Not even
Uh-huh.
if they're not a creator, you can see what they
Yep.
want. What the deal is,
Yep.
and learn things. He had made a few videos. He had made 13 videos, 11 shorts, and 2 5-minute video game. Uh, uh, Videos total, and all of them, none of them had got a lot of views. Like I say, he just started on February 10th, and I'm kind of guessing too that he's in high school when he started making some YouTube videos, and not a lot of people were watching them, which would probably be a little depressing to somebody, I guess. I don't know. All
I think
that's
our YouTube channels, I think our YouTube channels really paint a picture of who we are, but I think that there's so much of a front put on by most YouTube creators that the public doesn't pick up on those cries. Does that make sense?
yeah.
I've seen it with a lot of creators, and sadly, I mean, it's on all platforms. I mean, it's on TikTok, it's on YouTube.
I don't do TikTok, but from what I hear, it's the wild, wild west over there.
Yeah, the only thing I've ever seen on TikTok is these videos about you got these balls that drop, these round steel balls that drop on different instruments or different,
Yeah,
like they did it with rubber ducks and stuff like that. Wah, wah,
yeah,
wah, 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 wah. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't
I
know
saw
why.
a comment Aaron made earlier about her. She's doing TikTok now. She's probably built for TikTok. She can go over and give people some hell.
Aaron, you do TikTok?
She said that earlier. I believe she said something like that.
Let me see. Let me go up and see if I can find
I
it.
don't. I don't have anything against TikTok. I just don't do it, and I don't understand it. And everything I hear scares me to death.
Yeah, Connie's right though about that comment right there. BJ is something else. She don't do her own work, spends misinformation.
She doesn't do any work. And if somebody
No,
tells her that any kind of story, she believes it without checking it. And her chat and her subs feed her all these stories. So and so said this and then that and blah blah blah. Oh my God! And then she just goes 100 miles an hour with it without verifying anything.
right? It's all hearsay or rumors. Um, whenever I used to be on BJ's panel like for a few months. I
Oh
was
yeah,
real. Thank God that didn't last any longer. I would have pulled my hair out. And the worst part is about the whole Britney thing is I lost real good loyal friends because of her. Like I tried being um that person to give her the benefit of a doubt whenever people started coming to me and saying stuff about her because there just wasn't any. I didn't have anything to back it up, you know what I mean, except for
yeah.
they were telling me that she's using me and stuff like that. And I sent her case documents and stuff. I haven't seen a single case document except for her own lawsuit since then, come to think of it. Huh.
Her lawsuit. That's funny.
It's not good. I'll tell you what, and you know what, I promise you, as soon as it's all said and done with this lawsuit, every one of them clowns is gonna be crying and
I've
begging
been
and
in more.
pleading.
Our family company got sued by the federal government. So I mean, I'm sat across from the EPA, and I've been in a courtroom when we were just bleeding $100 bills, thousands a day. I
Yeah,
know quite a bit about it, and she has not a clue
what's
what she's
coming,
doing
what she
at
signed up
all.
for. There is no
And
such
this slap
thing
thing can
as.
get real.
Oh,
Uh,
I think it already is getting
yeah.
real.
Uh,
And
they get a judgment against what little she's got, and She may
What's
never ever pay it, but it'll keep her from doing a whole lot.
I bet bankruptcy gets filed in a lot of these cases with these
It'll
people.
have to be if I had some people that owed me a bunch of rent one time on a rental property, and they had a license, and I got a judgment against them for like $3,700. There's a license check in our county, and they saw that I had a judgment against her. They locked her butt up, and her family was calling. She can't get out. I said, well, all she got to do is pay that back rent. About a day and a half later, she had that money, and they let her out. That's a
Wow.
true story.
Yeah.
I was really kind of shocked. That's the way it played out. But I didn't know they'd do that, but they did that time.
I didn't know they did that either, but it
I
sounds to
think
me
the
like
sheriff
people need to pay
recognized
their
my
rent.
name and kind of did me a thing, but they absolutely did.
That's what I think. I think people need to pay their rent. Um, Boy, there's so much going on with that,
Yeah.
with just
But
with that
I
right
don't
there.
think it'll
Put a
come to
big
that,
part
but
on that.
they'll put a judgment against her. And like you said, she'll have to file bankruptcy or she will not be able to purchase. She won't be able to get another mortgage on her home. She needs a second. She won't be able to borrow money and get a car. All kind of things that you can't do.
Yeah. Not only that, but any real assets will have to be liquidated.
Yeah.
Any real assets will have to be liquidated except for the home you live in and one vehicle.
You get a homestead exemption and there you go, vehicle. But if you got any other real assets, you're right. They're fair game.
Yeah. And that means everything. You get one toothbrush, one blanket. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, it depends what sheriff is in that county, how hard it gets pushed. But they can come in and say, "Hey, we got a judgment against you," blah blah blah, and uh,
Come in and clean everything out of
yeah,
your
she
house
gonna
of
wish she never
value.
heard of the Pennsylvania.
Yep. You got a $300 pair of shoes?
And
Well, here
can't
you
they do
go.
3 times the cost or whatever?
Yep.
And
That
I don't
that
know what Granny's paying, but
Gucci
I got to
purse or
feel like
whatever you think.
15, 20, 25,000 is not pretty about would be
Whew.
easy. I mean, he's going to have to do how many court appearances? A few. Probably not that
Mm.
high. He might agree to do it for 10 grand or something, but it ain't cheap.
What do you think about Lesniak? He was so
I
ready to
think
jump
Lesniak is trying to
ship.
save his damn license from getting disbarred. I think he was thinking, how in the friggin' frack did I get myself in this situation? He was speaking out of the side of his mouth.
He was trying to jump the ship, saying, "No, no, no! I got no proof that she was ever served."
Yeah, he's doing every trick he can to keep from, like saying, being disbarred.
Yeah, either reprimanded seriously or
Yeah,
barred.
because
Um, I don't think he's going to survive it. To be honest with you, it is so
I
frivolous and so messed up. The lawsuit itself and so egregious.
it's just
And you know,
so far from the standard that they require lawyers to behave that he's got a lot of explaining to do.
Lesniak, you got some splaining to do.
The only thing is he probably has enough political capital. From what I understand, he's kind of politically. Must he been like some kind of appointment in the state government or something at one time, maybe, or I don't know, or was that Castor?
That was Castor. Bruce
But still,
Castor was
Lesniak's got a little bit of
for a
political
whole.
clout, so we'll see how much he's got to wiggle his way out.
Yeah, I think Bruce Castor was the attorney general for a whole
Yeah,
10 minutes.
but
Something like that.
Lesniak looks like a daggone creepy, creepy old man lives in a room at the daggone in his aunt's house or something. I don't know. He just doesn't look like some big time lawyer.
Yeah, no, I seen him and Castor arguing something. I don't remember what it was. And it only took me about 45 seconds to turn off of it because it was horrible. They were praising the competition and some other stuff and some other stuff going on, but
Now the court yesterday ruled that they'll take their time and they'll come back with some kind of statement in what so many days or something. Didn't I hear that maybe? Or
I well, they didn't come to a decision yesterday, except for they did come to two decisions yesterday. The decision that yes, the service had been filed, and the judge said so. It's a lawsuit. You filed the lawsuit,
okay,
and the other decision was that hold on, I'm having a brain patootie. Um, the other decision was that, oh yeah, they're not going to allow them to file any more discovery because they're already past their expiration date.
I mean, how are they filing for discovery? Those are the damn ones that brought the suit. They should have had all the discovery when they brought the suit, you would think.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
Granny's the one that gets discovery. Just she needs to find out what they're going to use evidence to try to prove whatever, which they ain't. It's ridiculous anyway. But that's bias backwards right there.
That's exactly bass backwards.
I mean,
100%.
state that files charges, or the people filing the suit or wanting discovery, hell, they should have it. That's what they filed the suit over. They discovered crap that they thought that was wrong.
Right? Those little exhibities. It just cracks me up the way Jay says
If Granny's
exhibit.
talking about doing discovery, if she tries to do SLAP, I guess she can ask for discovery of
Oh, she
different kind of things.
absolutely can. And you know that I don't think that the courts are going to rule at all in Lesniak or any of the plaintiffs' favor because of the simple fact that they've treated this they filed this loss first. What they did is they didn't serve the actual defendants. They
Exactly.
gave it to the press to put out first, basically, which, let's face it,
Chatty.
YouTube is a source of press by its
Yeah.
own rights. It's media. And they sent it out to content creators to try to defame
Yeah.
Granny and
Because they
Barbecue
had
before
a
they ever
damn
got
disagreement
sued.
in a cat calling contest, and one of them's feelings got hurt.
Right? And there's really, I still haven't seen anything in the actual lawsuit that is grounds for a lawsuit.
It's not. I'm Listen. It's not illegal on YouTube to tell lies, call people names, say crap about them that they don't like, and do it day after day after day. It's not against the
Right?
law for the most part until you defame them, where their ability to make an income is damaged to the point where they notice a drop in their income because of what you've done with untrue statements. Other than
Yeah.
that, it's fair game out here.
Right? And in order to prove defamation, first you got to prove it was a lie. And if it's not a lie, you're just
Yeah, and then you got to
Saturday
prove
night out
that,
of
hey, I
luck.
made X last year and X the year before, and this year after they said this, this, and this, which is a lie, and you've proven it. You got to prove that I made X minus whatever, which
Right.
means you got to bring all your financials out to show that I have been financially damaged.
And Brittany J. And I'm not just look, I'm alarmed by this, is why I'm going to talk about it right now. Brittany J is absolutely scary if she thinks that she doesn't have to turn that information over.
Oh, absolutely. It's part of her. It's part of the proving the defamation that your income has been affected by untrue statements. And the only way you can
Absolutely.
prove that is, again, I made X last year and X the year before. This year I made X minus whatever, because so you got to show what you made.
Right?
Brittany's doing good for herself.
She makes hand over fist.
But here's the thing:
It's amazing
people I
how
got to
many
understand
people
about
want to
Brittany.
throw money
Brittany
at the
is the
media.
breadwinner in that situation, and it's under her to do that. So that pushes her dynamics the way she works, because she's always thinking about the dollar.
Yeah.
Which I don't care. I don't care. I hope everybody on YouTube makes all the money they can. And when it comes to money, my theory is worry about your money, not everybody else's.
Right? But whenever you file a lawsuit against
Yeah.
somebody, you got no choice. It's
Oh,
no
I know.
longer
You've opened yourself up to that. You better be ready for it.
if she don't turn him over, she's going to be the new Alex Jones.
Yeah. She'll have to. I think the court will. I think it's kind of a black eye on the court, too, by letting us get this far and not having called out the whole thing. I think the court's going to want to just quietly let this go burn itself out, and maybe they mediate and come up with something. I don't think they want a big brouhaha.
I think it's gone too far for that. I think
You
Granny's
may
got
be right. You may
a
be
county
right. I
suit on
mean,
her hands.
I know the whole community's probably wishing for that, and it would be kind of poetic justice. But
It
oh,
would be. Do you know what poetic justice would fully be in this case? If, of course, the lawsuit was dismissed, Granny and Barbecue won their countersuit, and BJ and Seth and them were
yeah,
restricted from talking about Granny and Barbecue after
yeah.
that.
Plus,
That
they
would
had to
be
pay three
justice.
times their damages from this, which would Just say it was 25
And
grand,
that's
could be
each.
75 grand.
That's each person that signed on to that lawsuit is responsible for paying
That's
that
funny.
75,000. Granny's gonna be rich.
Yeah,
Granny gonna have money in the
that's
bank.
right. They'll be super chatting over at Brittany's. It'll go straight into Granny's account.
Right. minus
Oh God,
minus
that would just kill
YouTube's
Brittany.
30%.
That would kill Brittany. But I'll tell you how I found out about Granny. When I first was around on Brittany's channel, at certain times she was talking about the drama, but it was almost like it was in code. And I didn't have history, so I don't know who she hung out before I got there. Aaron was one of them because Aaron and Heather Brat were my friends when I got beat to the ground. But one day she was telling me, "Oh, this channel talks about me all the time." And I said, "Who are you talking about?" And she said, all she would say is GW. For the next hour, I was begging people to tell me. Nobody would tell me it was Granny's Watch. I didn't know who she was. That's how I found she was referred to as GW.
Yeah.
And when they said Granny's
Um,
watching, I thought, well, who is that? Some old woman. So I went and finally the next day or so, I went and looked it up. I thought,
well, you know how big of a blundering idiot I was? I thought Brittany was actually true crime at first. Okay. Of course, I was, fresh out of 2 years of moderating for T Rev. Oh, Lord have mercy.
oh God,
Let me,
you moderated for T Rev.
I moderated for T Rev for almost 2 years.
He's a character.
He is a scumbag.
He defines creator because he creates something out of the left field that has no truth or fact to it and makes it his.
You know what? If he would have went into fabrication, that man would have really made money.
He kind of faked it, or what do they call it? Fake it till you
Faked
make
it
it.
till he
He got
maked
his
it.
channel to a point where he didn't need to do all that. All he needed to do was just keep the.
Right. All he had to do was keep rolling with what he was doing, but instead he had to literally, and you know what? He did it in the worst way possible. But see, the thing was there were rumors and stuff about it, his content being faked and stuff, but
Yeah, he
we
always
were
had
out of the
too
loop.
many inside information people and all that. I always thought, man, this guy's a little sus.
Right. But what you don't understand about T Rev is, see, Brittany makes her money off of her panel guests coming up, right?
Yeah,
But what T Rev does, and I know because I was a moderator for him, and this is before I realized, well, I need to be doing this for myself instead of someone else. This is real work. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, but T Rev has his moderators do all the work. They get all the documents for him. They
yeah.
get all of the news articles, the video clips, everything. His moderators do all that work. T
Yeah,
Rev
I'll
just
tell you, it
sits
takes
back.
more than one person to do. If you get like a big true crime case, to keep it cataloged and keep it organized.
Yep. That's what I have my Discord for. If you go into my Discord, there's tabs on the side and it's got all these different cases and you can look at, you know,
Yeah,
if I've already put it out on my channel, you can go in there and see any
yeah.
document or
Uh,
anything. But
but he always seemed to have the inside. Him and Rory with the what's it, "Thou shall not kill" or whatever.
yep.
They
You
always had
know,
some secret, juicy inside source, behind the scenes detective guy that would had private
you're talking
information.
about Detective John. You're
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
Detective John and what's it, Tommy Jude or what's his name?
I don't know the other
That whole
guy.
bunch.
I don't know that
It's
the
kind of
other guy.
entertaining, really, but I mean,
Yeah.
kind of
Uh
like the enhanced video they came up here, or the enhanced pictures they had a week or so ago.
Oh my gosh, that Bullhorn Betty and Clutch Them
What's it,
Pearls,
Lady Raw
whatever.
Narrative or something?
Mm. The what?
And the ones, the Lady Freedom Raw Narratives or something, and then some
The
other creator got some pictures, and then they used enhanced techniques and
BHB,
what's it, Justin, guy wears makeup, had the
Blowhorn
pictures. They were
Betty.
hollering it
Yep.
was Katie and Chris Proudfoot with it looked like putting Sebastian in the trunk or something.
Yeah. And you know that the worst part that they do whenever they do this kind of stuff and they create these fake videos and stuff like that is they used images from the Idaho 4 food trucks.
Yeah, somebody proved that, didn't they?
Yes. You can tell if you overlay it, it's impossible not to see.
And those pictures, I would tap in every once in a while, and while they were doing it, and say, "Look at this! It looks like that." And I'm thinking, "No, it looks like a big blob or nothing. It could be anything. How could you possibly say you see this and that?" And I don't know.
And then Betty goes right on ahead and shows us almost frame for frame how she faked it.
She's gone delusional. I don't hate Bullhorn Betty. She's really entertaining to me, but she is
She's
absolutely gone friggin'
crazy.
delusional, man.
Oh my goodness.
I
Like
mean, I've heard some stuff she said in the last week or so. I mean, it's like you're saying all this. Well, if you got this, why they law enforcement should have it too, and they don't, or they would arrest somebody. She just says anything, and people believes it
it's
with no
wild.
receipts.
It's wild to say the least. It's wild. And just like that notebook they found, I think it was the Audrey Cunningham case, that notebook they found that said help me on it, and
Oh
Gabby
wow,
Petito's water bottle and all of this and that. I'm
yeah.
just like, oh my
Uh,
goodness.
that it seems like every case we have a certain channel and creator that cannot resist the urge to have some kind of super. I'm a little closer to the whole thing and the evidence than all the other channels. They work their way right next to the people in the next to the case, or they come up with some crazy inside info, and it happens every time.
Right?
Fake pictures, fake or audio, fake whatever, and just these creators just can't resist trying to do it.
And the hilarious part is that other people are, it's like they got to have the scoop on the content.
Yeah,
So
that's
as
what I'm
soon
saying.
as
They got to
one
have that
person
super
drops that
inside info.
fake content, everyone else picks it up that's friends with that person and runs with it. And then they all have to get tissues and wipe the egg off their face whenever they find out it was fake. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
goodness. If that ain't some justice.
Remember the tunnels under the Idaho 4?
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. And what's his name? That true crime clown? What's his
Whatever
name?
happened to Drip Drop?
That's his name. Oh, I hate
I hadn't
clowns.
seen him in forever. Is he still around?
I have calorophobia. I don't know. I don't watch him.
I
I
don't
cannot
either, but
watch
there's
clowns.
been several I've thought of about here lately that I don't see around. They just don't pop up on my algorithm. Uh,
Like, and I know some people say it might be that uncanny valley thing or whatever, but no, that's not it. There's just nothing normal about having a
it
smile
is.
like that on
It's
your
kind of
face all the
spooky, really.
time.
I mean, but
There's scary.
and
Scary. I
Avery
do
Shannon
not
said
like
one
clowns.
time in a chat I was in, said that she knew Drip, or she went to high school with him or something. She's always got crazy statements. She knew who he was.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't watch him because he's a clown. Literally, like it. No,
It's
no,
just
no, no,
odd. I
no,
mean,
no.
who puts on a clown outfit and makeup and talks in this mysterious? But I will say this: he is very good at creating a some kind of question that nobody else comes up with.
Like, what do
You
you
know what I'm
mean?
saying? And that none of the other, he's unique.
No,
He'll
I
be
don't
able to
watch
find an
him.
angle. I'm not saying it's legit, but I'm saying he'll come up with a legit angle that nobody's thought of. That's almost legit, but it's not.
Wow. Mm-mm-mm.
But he's not popped up forever. I don't know. I guess he's still around.
Yeah,
I don't see
I just
T-Rev any.
I think he quit doing his true crime channel and now he just does his paranormal and gaming, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
I don't know though, because
That
the
had to cost him a lot of money.
I'm one of those people when I found out you're a liar or a fake, I don't just walk away from you. I walk all the way from you. I cut off all contact. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
will shut it down. I don't
I
do
think
this
he
whole.
destroyed his reputation so bad. You're probably right. He literally burnt the house down.
But yeah, he burnt the house
I tell you what, I used to
down.
like, and he's not that bad a person. He's kind of found himself in some different disagreements, but his what's it, Dago, or
I don't watch Dago either.
I don't watch
And
him, but I mean, he's not the worst person, but he's just associated with the wrong people, and he still pops up. I don't go, he watch him, but he's only got 40 or 50 people watching him.
yeah, I don't really watch him. Sometimes he'll pop up on my feed and it's like meatballs in the morning and I'm like, I can't do meatballs in the morning,
He's
you
got that
know.
voice too. Well, I need to
Yes,
get a new
come on now.
computer. And he's
Yeah.
kind of funny, but I'll tell you another one I like that. What's it, Jules? Uh,
Allegedly innocent, Jules.
I
Is that
can't
her name?
remember Jules. This one that got the haircut like the side of her hair is like shaved, the other side's not.
I don't know.
Jules True
Uh,
Crime. She's pretty good, and her channel's really grown. But I don't. She don't pop up anymore. But I thought about it, and I pulled something up the other day. She does a pretty good job. Uh, but I don't know. They always won't have that urge to, like, say, a new case comes along, and they want to have that inside scoop, special info that nobody else has, and they push the envelope, and they end up getting themselves in hot water.
See, and I don't think like true crime is so it's got so much drama in it already. I mean, true crime is dramatic. So I don't think anything needs added to it. I think that the stories just need told of the victims and the families and that for justice sake and to prevent people from hurting other people, but beyond that, I don't think like all this shocking, you're never going to believe this
Yeah, you're
in the
never going to believe
case.
this.
No,
We
I
got
believe it.
spoiled
People
with
are crappy, okay? People are crappy. I believe it.
Yeah, we got spoiled with a bunch of cases in a row that were really good whodunits or did they do it? Kylie Rodney, Idaho 4, and even before that, we had two or three just like off the chart, really good cases. We hadn't had a good case, and I can't tell you when. Idaho
Yeah,
4, basically.
yeah. Do you remember like the Kansas City Chiefs case that everybody ran with? Oh, it's got to be
Oh,
some
yeah, I
kind of
remember that. That was a
murder.
good case.
Yeah.
And hey, have you heard anything?
Uh,
It just
no,
shut down, basically.
do you know why they found out that it was literally an overdose and that the drugs were purchased by those men? The only thing there is to do in that case, if there are any actual legal repercussions, are find out where the drugs came
If they
from.
can trace the source it came from and then charge them with the.
Yep, yep, yep. And I tell you what, by the time I got done actually doing background checks to try, and I didn't do the background checks to expose anybody or anything like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to know who the people were involved in the case. That's what I do. When I start on a case, I'll go look every person up that's involved with it. You know what I
You got to
mean?
get a sense of what type person they were and what kind of life they led.
Right. And I knew and it's part of what made T-Rev mad at me to start with. I think that's why he got rid of me because I kept telling him, "No, you don't understand. Look at these people's histories. This is." I knew it was a fentanyl overdose before
Yeah.
the results ever came back. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And people got mad at me because I was like, "Y'all don't understand. This is an accidental
Yeah,
overdose."
they were just going thought they were just going to party and have a
Yeah,
a little
and
good time. Next thing you know, they put half of them are asleep.
yeah, and people also, even though it is literally scientifically uh pertinent near impossible to overdose on fentanyl mixed with weed because they have different combustion points, temperatures, but that's besides the point.
Yeah,
Um,
they fell asleep outdoors and then froze to death, I guess.
I think what happened is they took a pill because that's what most fentanyl comes in
Yeah,
form, or whatever. But I think that they thought they were taking just, like any
oxycodone or something.
yeah, or just something like that,
Yeah,
and it turned out to be a fentanyl pill. And I think that's the reason that the doses were all equally the same, the amount of
yeah.
overdose
And a
level.
few of them thought they'd go sit on the back porch while the other one hung out inside for a second. And when they all fell asleep, the guy that was inside was survived because of.
Well, I think they all likely took the pill at the same time, so it started hitting them. And see, the thing about fentanyl is you're if you overdose, you're dead before you even realize you're overdosing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And unless there's like 3 or 4 doses of Narcan on hand, I don't know how much Narcan would have saved them because one dose
Plus,
wouldn't have did
there
enough,
was nobody there that didn't take, I guess, the pill or whatever they took.
except for the guy that got so drunk he went inside and passed out that on the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And and people were like, no, they froze to death outside this side of the other. But whenever they told me that one of them was near the gate, and one of them was still in the chair, and the other was,
yeah.
I was like, no, this
No,
is,
they just fell over,
yep,
quit breathing.
yep. See, fentanyl makes you unable to breathe.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. It
literally,
shallows your breathing once you don't breathe.
yep. It'll suppress your breathing. So
And
what
it's actually
happened
not
was,
fentanyl; it's carfentanil. It's laboratory mixed stuff from China that basically is the same formula, but it's slightly different.
Right.
And
Um, but it's still just as powerful. I
oh, it's
mean,
more powerful.
yeah,
And they press it into these oxycodone 15 milligram pills, and they look like they're absolutely perfect looking fakes.
yeah,
And
yep,
they find them by the tens and twenties and hundreds of thousands all the time at the border.
yep. But people want to say, oh, it's it's the weed. It's got you'd be seeing so many people fall out from fentanyl overdoses if it was in the
Oh, it's an
weed.
epidemic.
It is an epidemic, but it's a pill-based epidemic. People don't
Yeah.
realize that. People have gone to the doctor. I mean, big pharma all these years was pushing out opioids on people.
Yeah.
You stubbed your toe, here, have an opioid.
Yeah.
And what happened is people got addicted to them.
And they swung the needle so far. I was on pain medicine for a long time, and I got on Suboxone when my doctor retired. I knew I couldn't
Uh-huh.
go. Best thing I ever did, but uh, the
Congratulations.
pendulum
Good
swung
for
so
you.
far in the opposite direction that people just couldn't stop like that. So they sought out anything they could, and that's what happened. That filled
Yeah.
the void.
Yep. Fentanyl, it takes less product to get them to where they need to be if they're addicted or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's easy to transport. It's easier to conceal in transportation because it takes less quantities of it and stuff. And people just smuggle it right in, and then they
Oh
press
yeah.
it into
And they
pills and they
say
give
I've
out the
read
pills.
stories. They say they can take like just literally uh, I'm not going to use numbers, but like a very small amount and cut it with just a tremendous amount, like a little bitty pile of it here makes a big pile of the whole thing. So because the fentanyl
Yeah.
is so strong when they get it, it's
Yeah.
still when they cut it with 100 times to one, uh, it's that
And it's
strong.
not enough cutting still it's not enough
Yeah,
cutting.
it's not, and they don't do it scientifically. You know, they just
Right. They
and
don't.
the American people are the guinea pigs. These people out here,
I believe that. I
it's
believe we're
bad.
guinea pigs in a lot of ways. But then what happens is people take a pill and they don't even know that they've taken a fentanyl pill. They think they've
Yeah, a
taken
lot of them think they're
this,
getting
that, or the
the
other.
medicine that they were prescribed that they can't get no more.
Right. And it's not. It's fentanyl.
No, they
And
you
they
go
take it.
on Google Images and type up uh, fake pressed fentanyl pills, and they'll
Yeah.
look exactly like an oxycodone 15 milligram little green round tablet that you can't tell the difference.
And you
Identical looking
can't.
copy.
You can't. You cannot tell the difference. The only way to tell the difference is if it's a street fentanyl pill or a street made pill or the prescribed one is if you picked up the prescription yourself from the pharmacist. That's the
Exactly.
only way. That's the only way to be safe from it. And the sad news is they're mixing it with other drugs now too. With everything under the sun. And then you got, what is it, that what's it called, that fancy pink stuff they got selling, that pink cocaine or whatever they call it now.
That's got fentanyl in it.
Yeah, that's got fentanyl in it. I mean, I hate to say it, but drugs were safer back in the day.
They weren't as complicated as they are.
Yeah, they weren't as complicated
I
as
hear
they
these
are.
people do all these reviews on these legal strains of cannabis in the states are legal, and I mean they're getting down to the molecules and this and that, and saying things I've never heard. I said, whatever happened to a $25 bag of weed?
I don't know. I think whenever I go to the dispensary, I have my medical card. Whenever
Yeah,
I go to the dispensary, it's usually like, it depends on what I get, really. But I mean, at the same time, nowadays, the way they're doing strains and stuff, you can get it that'll make you feel more energetic, or you can get it. It's
exactly.
called,
They're pinpointing how it affects people. I think it's good. I think it's the
yes,
best thing that should have happened a long time ago.
I think so too. And let me tell you something. I can smoke when I'm hurting because I have really bad health problems. I have lupus, I have scoliosis, and a couple other things.
Yeah,
Genetics, right? Genetics. Um, but that's what I have it for. And I can still function and carry out my daily tasks and
yeah,
do everything that I have to do. But whenever they were prescribing me, they used to give me like 120 Tylenol threes a month,
yeah.
or they'd give me 90 of the opioid pills. I think it was hydrocodones or something like
Probably
that.
Lortab or I can't think of the name of it, but hydrocodone with acetaminophen.
But you know what? I suffered in pain because I don't like the way pills make me feel. So I wouldn't even take them. I've still got prescriptions. I don't know what they even do with it. Have turned to dust in their bottles. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because I wouldn't take them, and I kept telling them, "You don't understand. I don't like the way these pills make me
my mom
feel.
was
They
that
make
way.
me
She couldn't take them. They
nauseous.
made her sick.
Yes, they make me nauseous, sick to my stomach." And so now I actually have relief.
See, that's
But
the only thing I hate on Suboxone is that, the drug test every month. In North Carolina, we don't have legalized dispensaries yet, so I can't
mm,
test positive for cannabis, which I smoked before I started Suboxone. I miss
right,
that, but it's still I deal with it because I just Suboxone's the best thing that ever happened to me. But they'll legalize it eventually.
and like I don't think like I'm not against adults that want to um partake in it on a social level, if that's what they want to do. But I don't. It's not like a social thing for me. You know what I mean? It's a medication, and I think that every state should legalize it as a medicine.
Well,
I
I've got a
really do.
statement. I've done drugs. Marijuana ain't one of them. It's just to me, it's not like obviously it's a substance, but drugs. The one thing marijuana grows right out of the earth. It is not a drug. It's a something that'll help you.
Right.
Yeah.
It really will. It really will. It'll help you a lot. Um, and then but there's also people. It's just like with everything else. There's some people that can't use it. Like my friend Stacy. They gave it to her for a little while for her. She's got scoliosis too, but
Yeah.
they gave it to her and it makes her nauseous, so she
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
use it.
that and some people, there's these stronger strains. Some people it makes them paranoid.
I've never been paranoid.
I have well, no, not really. Actually, that was somebody had that stuff they used to sell at the store. They told me it was pot and it was the other stuff, but it got me. But no,
Salvia.
just regular pot me either.
Was it salvia?
No, it's something they used to sell that you could smoke. It was like pot. You get it at the convenience store, but you don't test positive. And they didn't tell me. They just had a joint roll.
That
I smoked
D12
about
stuff or
10 minutes later. I
whatever?
was like, whoa. I mean, just,
That potpourri stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's just some chemical they spray on it and you can smoke it. It's like pot, but people smoke it that can't test positive for their work.
I actually have an uncle that died from smoking that.
Yeah. There's been a lot of cases where people just did psychotic things.
Well, he just fell out dead
Yeah.
from it. Like
But
he
yeah, they're
yeah.
learning more and more too about these strains, like say what each one does, and one helps you sleep, one helps you with this, and it's a great thing, I think.
Yeah. I think it gets a bad rep. I don't like I look, I'd be so mad if I ever found out that my kids was using it and didn't have a legitimate medical need for it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't agree with just being a pothead, you know what I mean? But I do think that it is a miracle worker for pain, and that's from my own experience.
Yeah,
And
like I
I
say,
think
I
that it
really
should be
miss it. I
legal for
wish I
medical
I,
use.
I could, and maybe I'm sure North Carolina will eventually pass, but until then, I'm kind of stuck.
I
Because
mean,
you're
and
right,
it's
it does help with pain. It relaxes you and takes the tenseness away, and
yep.
uh, that's half of the deal with pain. Because you start hurting, you think, "Oh my God, how where we're headed with this," and your anxiety gets amped up.
Get the hurting so bad it feels like you can hear the pain in your ears.
I
You
hurt
know
so
what I'm
bad
talking
last
about?
night. I mean, it was awful. 2 nights ago,
I'm so glad you found relief. So glad you found
but I
relief.
don't have to deal with that like very often. What I call that
No.
DEFCON 5 level, where you just it's hell on earth. I had
Yes.
one 2 nights ago, and I mean, it was God, it was awful.
Yep.
I mean, I'll just kind of move a certain way, and I will literally scream.
Bless your heart.
And it's
I'm.
like I got stuck, and I was afraid to move because my back was in my chair, and I was
Mhm.
afraid to stand up, afraid to move up because if I moved the wrong way, it was like I can't even describe the pain. On a
Bless
scale
your
of 1 to
heart.
10, it was 1,000. And
I
I
I
finally got
feel
got up and got laid in the bed and got a good night's sleep, and it's been okay. But I hadn't been there for a long time where I was at 2 nights ago. But when I get there and it kind of sticks and stays with me for a few days, it's beyond what any human can tolerate. I promise you.
My dad, I'm adopted, but my biological father's still alive, but the man that adopted me isn't. Um, he had back problems really bad. I mean, he had multiple back surgeries, disc fused and stuff like that, and he hurt all the time, bless his heart. But that man still worked through the pain. Um, but he was on. They had him on like muscle relaxers, and I mean, just all kinds of stuff. Um, but I mean, I guess it helped him with the pain because I mean, he worked through
Yeah,
it.
it will help with pain. The problem is it's just not sustainable because if a 10 milligram 3 times a day does the trick and you're feeling all good and you kind of, do better and you manage your pain, if you do that for 6 months, then your tolerance goes up and you got it up that you just can't keep going up and up and up. And so it's just not sustainable.
Yeah. So you said, and by the way, I'm going to pray for you for your back pain. By the way, if that's
And I thank
okay
God
with you.
it has not been like it was the other night in a long while. Like I had 6 months ago, I had a little spell,
Yeah.
but knock on wood. Uh,
Um, you said that you were on Suboxone.
yeah,
So can I ask you a couple of questions about that, if that's all
absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
And congratulations, by the way, on sobriety. I'm so happy
yeah,
for you. I have a sister that is, she wasn't, it was an opioid addiction. She was
yeah.
bad
That's me. That's
addicted
what it
to
was.
speed.
I was prescribed pain meds for about 8 years.
Yeah. Um, a couple of things about Suboxone. How long are you usually, or how long
Uh,
is the usual treatment with Suboxone to
well,
overcome addiction?
they start you out. You take up to 3 a day, and it just keeps you from being dope sick, or for lack of a better word. If they cut you right off of pain meds and you've been taking them for any period of time, it's the worst feeling in the world.
So is it like an inhibitor that fills those
It
receptors?
blocks your uh, dopamine receptors in your brain. It plugs them up with some kind of whatever, and you just don't feel the the withdrawal sickness.
The
You don't feel
sickness,
anything
yeah.
else either. I mean, has no effect as far as your mood or you're sleepy or not sleepy and uh, this or that. And like now, I've been on it a while. I don't think I've took. I know I hadn't took one today, and I can't remember when I took one yesterday. Seems like maybe I took one about maybe 9 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock. I don't even remember. And do I have to take one today before? Not really. Uh, but I will at some point because I like, I don't like to get too far off of whatever. But I don't even think about when or if or that I have to take one. Now, if I went without them for a long, like several days, you would still feel the withdrawal things, but no side effects. And like I say, it's been good for me.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I missed it because I got wrapped up in the conversation and had to get up out of my chair for a minute. But how long have you been on it?
Uh, Probably about since basically this year. My doctor retired in January.
Okay.
So
Okay.
after 8 years meds, I had like a little bit of inventory that I had saved up for a while, and then coming about March, I said, "Whoa!" Here, I said, "No doctor's gonna probably rewrite this, or if he does, you're going to jump through hoops, which I'm not going to do. Nor do
Yeah.
I really want to continue this. Let me try Suboxone." So I went, and hey, it's the easiest thing ever.
Wow. Wow.
Just a little orange peel, you put it on your tongue,
Hmm.
dissolves. Like I say, I don't even think about when or if I have to even. It's like I don't. It's not like I need to take that pill or I'm gonna feel. I feel normal
Right.
as normal can be. I'll probably take one at
Hmm.
some point just because I know I need to, but it's not. It's not part of my thought process anymore. I
Wow.
can't
That's
wait to take that
good.
pill in the morning. No, I'll get up and I'll go all day until I'm about ready to go to bed. Thinking, I might ought to take one before I go to bed.
Yeah. Well, that's really good though. I mean that it's working for you, especially. I
Oh
mean
yeah, and
that's
here's the thing they're talking about, Brittany. She ain't on Suboxone. You don't fall asleep. Suboxone don't give you the nod outs. Methadone can for sure, and I don't think Brittany's on drugs. I just think she's the only breadwinner, and I think she works 24/7. To be honest with
You think so?
you, well, she gets up and takes her kids to school, and she live streams at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. She comes back home and goes to sleep. She's got to get back up and go pick them back up, and she's gonna listen to everything everybody sends her about who said what and go over that before she goes live. And she does a opinion live. I mean, she goes without sleep.
Oof.
So, but hey, I don't know, and not that I don't care, but it's just not my business.
Right. Well, I think she's sleepy, and I don't know, the reasons
She's
of it. I
definitely got
know.
some issues, though. I mean, her breathing is not,
Good at all.
and I say that she's not only, but she is, man. She just falls out. It's like every night.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the thing: I've done that before, and I'm gonna tell you 100% why I know she's not now. Because when you're in that situation and you're like, you pop up, you'll start a sentence because you want everybody to think you hadn't fell out, and you'll start and and it never ends up going anywhere. And go back and listen to when she pops back in, and she'll say, "No, no, I was just I was her thought process never goes from point A to the conclusion. It starts with something, and then her brain, just her trying to let everybody know she wasn't asleep.
Whenever she was. That's the
Yeah,
problem I
exactly.
have.
She'll start a
Like,
sentence and it never concludes with anything. It's because she's just trying to convince everybody. No, I was doing this.
yeah. See, I don't know Brittany like that, you know what I mean? But this is what I think that throws me off of it's just her being sleepy. Because either she is that bad of a habitual liar that she lies before she even thinks, or she's covering up the fact she was asleep because
That's what scares me. 'Cause let me tell you, it's like people that are sober. People that are sober don't run around hollering they're sober and trying to beat your chest. The ones that do kind of make me wary. Oh, really? You're sober because you run around hollering and telling everybody? Well, I don't do that, and I never felt the need to because it was in my mind. I knowed what I was, and that's all that mattered.
right?
And people that do, I mean, it just makes you at times think, I'm not so sure. It's a little bit too much overkill trying to tell you you're this and that. Because, like I say, people that are 100% sober don't have to beat your chest hollering they're sober.
And like I said, I don't know if it's the because I mean that and that's something else that's alarming. Someone that can go from asleep to awake and without even thinking about it lie. Like that
Yeah,
is
she could just, I mean, what if she just said, y'all, I just fell out for a second. I am so exhausted. But nobody think
all
twice
right,
about it.
all right, no big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
But she
Nobody would
goes
think
into the
twice about it.
microphone, the mouse jumped off the table and hit the dog in the mouth, and the microphone unplugged, and the internet left. And
Right?
if the
And
internet left, then how in the hell were you live streaming?
and see, I used to be a moderator for T-Rev, and T-Rev would do these live streams where he was like moderators, we would go in and out. We'd be there for an hour, we'd
Yeah.
go do what we had to do and come back in and moderate some more. He would do 17, 18-hour live streams. Well,
I
they
kind of
got
remember that.
lives. Yeah.
You got
And
to be on something to do 18 hours of live streaming. I'm not saying he was on
he
something, but
looks
you got to
bad.
feel something other than normal.
I'm not saying this to be mean in any way. I pray for my enemies just the same as I pray for my friends. But let me tell you this, he looks terrible. He looks like he has not slept in a year
Let me ask a question. Now, I
or
didn't follow
eaten
the
in a year.
Sebastian case at all for the first 9 months. I didn't know who Proudfoot, Johnny Foot, Bar Socks, Seth, Tony. I didn't know anything anybody did, didn't care.
Right.
Finally, I started, but then I heard something about T Ray went down there and was looking, and he got somebody's girlfriend. And did he end up getting with?
Seth's old lady, or who Seth
Is
was.
that what happened?
Yes,
See, I remember
actually,
hearing that, but I never. Again, I wasn't following it then. But I thought, are you
actually,
serious?
it's a little deeper than that. It's a
I heard
little
something
deeper
about
than that.
something you're not supposed
She,
to say on thing that shoots things out in front of you.
I'm pretty sure, that she was a moderator for T Rev under a
Okay.
different name. before all of this happened, and just so happened to be in that area. Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I've caught Seth in lies, and I know T Rev's a liar.
Oh yeah,
Okay. So it's like, really, whenever it just boils down to it at the end of the day, I think that was two people that were using each other. I think that Michaela was doing uh, deeds for Seth, and I think she was doing deeds for T Rev. And I think I think that that is just a big old mess
yeah. It
that they
sounds like.
created. But I'm telling you right now, will T Rev send in people to do dirty stuff?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
oh
If you
yeah.
doubt it for a second,
He
if
will
you doubt it for a
manipulate the
second,
narrative. He creates scenarios that aren't do not happen otherwise.
yes. Well, he will take something and there might be like a partial truth to it.
And yeah,
And then he will embellish it and add to the story so much
yeah,
that before it's all said and done, that little baby elephant is now
yeah.
Dumbo and he's,
That's right.
flaming pink and got, fireballs shooting out of his eyes.
That's right.
I mean, that's just how he does, you know. But
Yeah,
but I will tell you this: I do believe there is some truth to a conversation about guns because I think that what happened was T Red was down there flashing his steel. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
And said, and they had the whole conversation, and T Red was probably on a website, and Seth probably said, you know,
yeah,
well, get one for me too, or something like that. I could be
yeah,
wrong. It could have been a deeper conversation. I believe there was a conversation about weapons. I'm not 100% sure that I believe that either of them told the truth about it.
yeah. I don't think so. I just remember when it happened. Like I say, I wasn't following it at all. When I heard it, I thought, damn, T Revs done stole somebody's girlfriend away from the daggone side of the crime.
Yep. And something else is that whole, you know how T Rev grew initially, right? You know
Uh,
where his big break came from, right? People say it was
Tell
the
me, and I
Daniel
may remember which.
Cavalcante. People say
Who?
it was the Daniel Cavalcante case,
Oh yeah,
but
I
it
remember that. The one we
was,
stayed up all night chasing through Pennsylvania for.
yep, but it wasn't Daniel Cavalcante. T Rev grew because of that fake Brian Koberger call.
Oh yeah,
That is what
that's
bumped.
the first thing I knew. I knew he'd fabricated that. I knew it was nonsense, and people kind of questioned, but they couldn't pinpoint that he was wrong. And I knew right then and there. I said, "This guy's somebody that's gonna push the envelope for content."
Yep,
And then he had the guy that called in and basically ended up ratting him out.
yep. And see, you have people that T Rev will choose to put on the inside of the dirty, you know what I'm saying? The dirty
Yep.
deeds. And then you have people that are just like the people that do the most work for T Rev are not the ones that are the ones that are in the loop, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's it's the people T Rev can get to do one dirty deed, he'll put them up to all of them. But then he'll single that person out. And T Rev is just like Brittany. He will
Yeah.
silence
He'll
you.
vilify somebody in a minute.
He'll vilify you and then he will silence you. Like he will block you. You won't be able to comment on anything. You won't be able to say one word or breathe one word about anything that's gone down. Once he finds out you're on to him, you're done.
Yeah.
Just like he was having affairs with moderators and
Yeah, I
stuff.
kind of always thought that because you could see in chat what little I'd watch. I never participated, but you could see the kind of the chats going back and forth.
And you know what? We would hear the rumors about that moderator, the way she acts, she's got something going on with T Rev, this, that, and the other. And we were all like, no way, because there were those of us that weren't interested in anything like that and put enough out about being married or in a relationship that it never came about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you have people that were like, why is she talking crap about Athena? And T Rev would come in there and he'd like his Discord was a hot mess. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
I
lie.
can imagine.
No, you can't. Well, you might be able to if you multiply it by about a
Because he,
thousand.
he, he seems to me like he'd have 7 different secret scenarios going on at one time.
He does, and he has secret rooms that are like he'll put certain people in. You know what I mean? And um, but the minute you speak out against him or catch him up in any of his lies or stuff, and try to speak
Yeah,
about
he's
it,
always been that way.
you're done.
You've seen people on his channel and then like Bing overnight, never see them.
Yep, bing, they're gone. And then what happened is I was a moderator for him so long, and
Yeah,
I was loyal. I was a loyal person. Um, he was like BJ. He didn't want us watching other channels and stuff like that if we weren't getting juice for him. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But he isolates people, and Brittany does the same thing. She isolates people.
Yeah, she isolates them because she's afraid if they do get out of the fold, they'll reveal the things. I remember one time she was saying, "Well, I'll never tell anybody what not to watch." And before she finished, I said, "Well, I'm glad to know that, but I'll never ask you whether I can watch something or not anyway."
Right. And
You
people are
know?
like, "Oh, it's that cult mentality." And I'm like, "No, it's the cult leader mentality. The people don't realize they're in a cult." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
They
go
don't.
everywhere. I go everywhere.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with
I
that.
mean, I go to
There's
Brittany's
nothing
because I
wrong
want to
with
know the scuttlebutt, what's going on.
the scuttlebutt.
I mean, I literally, I'll tell you what I hadn't happened yet, and I'm waiting. I heard
Mhm.
what's her name, Natasha Cooper's back.
I don't even know who that is.
That's somebody. Yeah, oh, she's worse than all of them combined on times 10. She invented all the games that they learned. Brittany learned from her, from what I understand. She'll go after Brittany at some point. You can just wait and see. And she is beyond crazy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Just go on YouTube and type her name in, Natasha Cooper. She's had like a dozen channels terminated.
Terminated?
All kind of fake fundraisers, all kind of stuff. And I mean, she is a
Wow.
but to me, I think she's entertaining.
I think she's
I mean, you
some
can't. The stuff comes out of her mouth. You can't make up.
such a crap show you can't help but
Oh my
watch.
God, it's unbelievable. I
I
think her
know what
channel
you
is.
mean.
I don't want to say it out loud. Something about the Queen. What's it? Something the Queen. But they were talking the other day. She's back, and then I heard a little blip, and she was saying, "I taught every one of them all the tricks." Brittany,
Oh
blah blah
boy.
blah. She went on and on. It was funny as hell.
Oh boy. I
But
haven't
she's
seen.
gonna go after Brittany. You just wait.
You'll
It's
have to
coming.
post me to the link. I'll have to watch that train wreck. I
Yeah.
really think I
I
might have
can't
to
like I say
after
it's
today.
something. I am the queen or the queen something something. But she'll go after her eventually. And when she does, it won't be no let up.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh my
I
God.
you know what I'm thinking. I think by the time it's all said and done with this lawsuit, there might not be a Brittany channel except
Now
for
I
to
think the more
pay for
attention
her
negative she gets,
lawsuit.
I mean, through all of this in the last year and a half, 2 years, Brittany's grown. Brittany's problem is she doesn't have any. If you look at her chat and her community, say 12 months ago, and then write the names down and look at it now, it's a whole different set of people.
Do you
It's
know
like to
why?
me, it's
Because
like
it's T Revs. It's T Revs old people. I kid you not.
a lot of
I
them. She went
kid
over to
you
T
not.
Rev and she strategically plucked them, played nice until she got fighting. She plucked a whole bunch of them right out of there.
Yep. And then what'd she do? After she got all those subscribers, what did she do? As soon as she found out about the whole smoke fake T Rev call thing,
Oh shit, that was I
she
can't believe.
she closed in for the kill on T
That's
Rev.
right.
His
And
subscribers are
she
all
got with
here in my
CJ
channel.
there for a little bit. And she hung out with CJ.
But notice whenever I was on her panel and I tried to talk about T Rev, she was like, "Well, we're not going to bash other creators. We believe in working with them." And I had to dial down what I was going to say altogether because I knew I was not in a place
Yeah,
where I could speak.
Brittany plays the politics a lot better than people give credit for.
Yeah,
I
she's
mean, look at the channels. Like I say, it was T Rev, it was CJ, and then now it's not. And she kind of works through the little stepping stones, and
she
you say what
does.
you want to, but her and Granny, the more they holler, the more the people watch.
That's true.
This court case, as much as it can do against her, they'll between now and the time it happens, there's going to be so much. The hotter it gets, the more that she's refused, it's going to happen.
Yeah. But you know what the crazy part about the whole Brittany and Granny situation is?
Yeah,
I actually watched where they both ended up on a panel together. And Granny was like, okay, we're going to, and Brittany were both like, they made
truth.
a treaty, a truce. Yeah. And then I'll be darned. You know what happened? Someone else
Brittany
did
come up with some
something.
fantasy reason it got broke and just started
Yes.
right back.
Yep.
Cause you know
Yep.
why? Because she realized without that, what was she gonna talk about?
She didn't have nothing to talk about because she can't do her own research. She doesn't do her own
She does,
research.
and let me tell you, I've been
She
on
doesn't
panel
know
with
how
her
to
so
get
many times. All she
documents.
does is Google at the point you bring it up. Well, what about this? Well, hold on a second. Google, and if you go back and watch what she says, and what she's talking about, and Google search it, it's exactly what she's saying is what pops up on Google, and that's fine. You got to do that. You got to go through all of it though.
Right. You can't just pick and choose. It's like reading the Bible. You can't pick and choose a verse out of it without any context and have any understanding of it.
Yeah, the one I've been dropping on the whole situation, this prayer situation, is Matthew 18:20. For where two or more are gathered in his name, I am in their
Oh,
midst.
yep.
Don't nobody get to decide what prayers is good or bad. That's, two or more are together in his name, the Lord is present.
My favorite is in the book of Matthew. Do what's right, not what is easy.
That's right.
Yep. Do
But
what's
that
right, not
really,
what is
that
easy.
irked me when she started hollering about prayers weren't this or that. It ain't none of our place to,
Judge
uh,
someone else's prayers or sincerity in them prayers.
yeah,
That's none of our places.
no,
And you especially don't do that to a friend whose husband is sick with
yeah.
cancer.
I
Don't
did
begrudge
see
that
Nana was on
person's
her panel
prayers.
last night again, finally. It's been a while.
Yeah. You know what? I feel bad for Nina going back over there.
I do too. And Nana made a statement. She said, "I'm a grown woman. I'm gonna look at until we find Sebastian. I'm gonna look at uh, both sides and listen. And I don't, nobody's gonna tell me." And she didn't
What
come back to Brittany's for for several days, and she was there last night.
I hope someday. I mean, Nana really is just a gentle-hearted person.
It's in the cards. It's gonna happen. At this point,
Yeah.
it may not play out now, but it's like Eddie. You knew it was coming at some point. It's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. And you know what? I hate to say it, but like it wasn't that I was ignoring what my friends were saying. It's that I wanted to see the better in another creator after what I went through with T-Red.
I did too. I did too.
And I lost Hollis, Paige, Crystal,
I
and
gained so much more than I lost, so it's
I can't replace the people I lost. The people I lost, I was friends with for years,
yeah,
and that's my biggest regret. If I could undo one thing in my life, it would be that because those people stood with me through thick and thin, and I was crappy. My fault. I didn't listen to them because I wanted to see the good in someone else whenever I had good right in front of my face and
yeah.
chose not to listen to
Well,
them.
yeah, I'm a lot that way. I had to be crapped on twice before I know I've been shit on.
Yep.
I mean, one time ain't enough for me, and I give people second chances,
I
and
got
that's
a
the way I've
story
always
for you.
been. I mean, and
I got
I don't hate Brittany now. Brittany just can't navigate relationships.
a. Oh, I don't hate Brittany. I
If
just
she
pray
can't
that the
navigate
Lord smite down
relationships,
my
when it
enemies.
gets going, the fur starts flying, her fangs come out, and she goes on attack mode, and she
She
blows the bridge
lies.
up before you can't come back across it.
War Eagle made a post about the whole doxing of Seth, which wasn't doxing, by the way,
Oh
because it
God, I'm
was
so tired of
FOIA
doxing.
request, right? Um, but I came into Jay's live stream way later in the night after New Year. It was New Year's, right? Because I'd celebrated with my husband and got a little tipsy, and then
Yeah,
we'd come back in and party over, and so I was like, "Well, I'm bored, and now I'm a little tipsy. I'm gonna go online and see what's going
yeah,
on." And but I didn't even know that they had discussed that stuff about Seth, right? And
yeah.
I go on to the stream, and it's not even part of the topic anymore, really. And you know what? War Eagle made that post and she was talking about Jay and everyone else in there. But I wasn't on War Eagle's post. But you know what Brittany did? Brittany went live and was like, and let's talk about them docs and Seth. And she read off everyone on
Oh,
War Eagle's post. And then she said, and Regina, y'all remember Regina? Let's not forget Regina. Let me tell you what they
I
did.
remember that.
I wasn't even there.
And how? Well, let me, Seth, what? I mean, who on earth, if they want to know where he's lived or anything about him, couldn't find out in about 10 minutes? What is it you can dox for of him?
Um, It didn't show his social security number. His driver's license information was bleeded out because they have to do that, whenever they send it to you.
Yeah,
Um, what did she dox? She didn't give out any of Seth's private personal information. She gave out a government employee's information
exactly.
from
Something that's
time.
public information.
Yeah, literally. And is it right to do that? Maybe not in all cases.
It's not something we
Is it
want
a
to do as a habit, but it's
constitutional
not. It's
right?
not something nefarious to do damage to somebody. That I don't consider it. You know.
And the whole thing is, if Tony hadn't gone and told everybody Seth got beat up at work, it would have never come out. But that lie, see, that's the part that made them all mad. It caught Tony up lying
That's
for
right.
Seth,
Because people started asking questions: where does he work, or has he been working?
right?
Come to find out, there've been a lot of tales told.
Yep. And you know what else about that nonprofit he has? Well, let me explain something to you about a nonprofit that most people don't know. You have to file taxes within 1 year of being registered as a nonprofit with the
Yeah,
state, and you have to have your 501(c)s.
yeah,
And if you don't, guess what? The state will literally take your registration away
that's
from
right. And you
you.
lose the tax exempt status you had.
Yep, you sure do.
So all that
So,
money you handle now is taxable.
yep, and you're gonna have to pay those taxes because Big Sam's gonna come knocking on the door for his money. Uncle Sam wants his money.
I don't know. Say I don't think Seth's done anything, but he immediately jumped into the YouTube and all the uh, associations he could that I think he thought would benefit him, and the ones that said anything negative, he goes out and gets in a lawsuit, and
I can't
I think it's just kind of crappy.
I can't pinpoint one thing that makes me 100% believe Seth Rogers did anything to his son. But what I will tell you this is his behavior and what he has done and all the lies he's told.
Yeah, he's a
And
snake.
yeah, he's a snake.
He's a
And
damn snake. Ain't no doubt about it.
this is what my dad told me when I was little. He said, "Let me explain something to you." He said, "If someone will lie to you, they will steal from you. If someone will
I've
steal
heard that
from
forever.
you, they would just as soon kill you than look at you for what you got." And I believe that. So, because and this is something else. I know the law separates crimes out in degrees, but sin is sin. It's just that simple.
Yeah,
The only sin that is different from all others is blasphemy. But the seven deadly sins, they're all the same, and the wages of sin is death. I mean, eventually the tax collector is going to come
yeah. The debt
on what
comes
you've
through it.
done, regardless.
Yeah, Seth is just everything he does is just.
Backwards.
I don't know. He just. And
And
plus, he
it's
tries to
grimy.
spin the narrative that he's just this and that and this and that. And I don't think he's the worst person in the world, but I know what your behavior and what you think trying to make yourself out to be is not, doesn't match. And it's like he tries to throw shade on his ex without just coming out and throwing it. It's like he, I don't
Yes, you will, Connie. I'll talk to her. I know you're good people, and I know that you were as misled as all the rest of us by
know.
Brittany.
Yeah, Connie, let me tell you, we've all made mistakes on YouTube, but every one of us in here, I'll venture to say, has uh, exhibited behavior that we're either ashamed of or certainly not very proud of. And all you can do is start with yourself. But these people claiming the moral high ground is a bunch of horse shit.
It's a bunch of horse crap. Yep.
Seriously. Like
Yep.
I say, I can only start with myself tomorrow. But this whole thing, when none of us are without.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
That's
Ain't none
right.
of us
And
casting
judgment is
stones
the
if we did.
Lord's.
Yep. Yep.
These chant, like I say, the chant. What drives me, exhausts me, is Brittany and them just trying to. We don't do this and blah blah blah. And they're just evil. No, you're as evil as they are. They've said as nefarious, awful comments about you as you've said about them, and it goes back and forth and
Forth
back.
and back and forth.
The other night, Brittany was live, and for the last hour and a half, I wrote down all the negative comments that were either directed at Jay, Granny's watching, or Queen Bee, and I had 150 comments. And the next time we get together, I'll read them to you. Just they run the gamut. And I was going to do them all for the whole stream, but she didn't put the chat up for the when you rewatched it. But that was just in the last hour and a half. And, she's over hollering, they don't do this, and it was everything. They're ridiculous. They're evil. Just everything you could think of.
Sorry, I gotta
That
give
either
a
she
shout
made
out.
or somebody in chat made.
I gotta give a shout out to my friend, unknown caller, the only person on my channel originally allowed to talk about T Fraud 757. So your comments are allowed, unknown caller. You're always allowed in
Hey,
here,
I
my
did hear
friend.
something
Always, and
kind
I
of
will take your call any day. You already know, darling.
yeah. I did hear a sad thing today. I don't know. Y'all ever heard of Golf Inspector General?
What?
There's a character, there's a person that's their name, their screen name or whatever you call it is Golf Inspector General. She's over at Tommy Jude's and Rory's, or she was. She
I
died
don't
of
even know who
cancer
that is.
today or yesterday.
Oh, I'm so sorry
If
to
you
hear
never
that.
watched that channel or never well, I didn't watch it much, but enough that I would see her on panel with Tommy Jude and Rory all the time. But yeah, she passed away of cancer. So
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'll
yeah,
send
I
up
was
prayers
too.
for them.
I had
Y'all send up some prayers for
yeah,
them.
I had commented to her a few times, but I just had read that in somebody's community post, and
I'm so
as
sorry to
much as
hear
we
that.
fuss back and forth, sometimes things come back full circle, and we realize what we're fussing about ain't so daggone
It
important.
ain't so important. Yep, that's exactly
I
right.
found that out the other night when we were in the middle of a stream. Halfway through, we got completely buffaloed, and it
Yeah,
took a turn that I never thought. And again, the whole time I thought it was a troll.
it wasn't.
And at the end, when Dago Jen called me, she said the police just got off the phone, said they were there, and they found the weapon and a goodbye note under the pillow. But he has been taken into mental hold, and will be getting help.
Thank God though that y'all were there and y'all
And here,
listened.
here I'm in North Carolina. He's completely across the country, in the
Wow.
state of Washington. 15-year-old boy.
Yep. I believe advanced accelerated communications is a good thing and a bad thing both at the same
Yeah.
time. Yep. Yep. Um, it's amazing everything that we have today. I was born in the 80s. So I didn't grow up with cell phones and tablets and really computers even. Except for the one at school that had DOS.
Yeah, they really were computers, though. I mean,
Yeah, they were
you could play.
calculators,
What was it? Pong.
glorified
Pong.
calculators. Pong, yes. Yes.
They thought that was the biggest event. I remember when Christmas Rent came out, everybody had to get the Pong game, and I mean, it was literally a mad rush to get it.
I
They
remember
didn't have but
when
so many. And I mean, there are a lot of people that didn't get in line, did not get one.
lots of bad rap music got released due to YouTube, though. That is a fact, unknown
That
caller.
is beyond the fact. These people that think they can rap, oh my God. I can rap like nobody else can rap, and no, you cannot. Hey, these speaking of something a little bit, these AI generated like funny little tidbit songs, the one about Britney and other people, they are pretty daggone good.
Yes, they are.
I
They look
laugh till
being
about, and I mean they're kind of
stitches.
catchy sounding, and nothing about nothing. And I mean it's like daggone, that's pretty good, and they're AI generated.
Look.
What's the name of that channel?
Every day with Jay.
No,
No.
well, there's a guy, one channel that does a bunch of them songs, and I found it somehow or another. Cam it or cram it or something. I don't
Cram it.
know.
Cram
Huh?
it. Yes,
What'd
cram
you
it.
say? What'd you say?
K-R-I. Cram it.
Yeah, but anyway, I went on there. He's got
K-R-A-M-I-T.
about a half dozen Britney songs and maybe a Bullhorn Betty, and every one of them are good.
Oh, oh, do you know who else you have to watch? Have you seen Mocking Media yet?
Somebody said something about that the other day.
You have got to go watch the Burning Bush series by Mocking Media. You want to laugh? You want to
See,
fall
that's the
out
thing.
of
We
your
need to
chair
laugh
laughing?
more because we're taking ourselves way too serious.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I know that we got way off topic, but we've already covered
I'm sorry if I
Brian
did, but
Coburn. No,
sometimes
you're
it just
fine.
goes where
No,
it
you're
goes.
fine. We covered what I was gonna cover in the Brian Coburger case
Oh
already,
yeah,
so we're fine. I covered it. That
yeah.
was a
I've
Mackenzie
enjoyed this.
Glass
It's
thing.
just fun.
But hold on just a second. I got something for you.
That BJ song, I laughed. I about cried.
I love Mocking Media. I am a subscriber. I'm gonna put the link in the description. It is um it's amazing. Reverend RLJ. Oh, oh my goodness. It's, I wake up and I see that he's released a new video, or they, I don't know if it's a he or she. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pull it up on YouTube 1 second. Oh,
And they were giving
um,
Brittany a heck about the one. Somebody released one that had some anti-Semitic Hitler something. I don't know.
you know what? Brittany actually made some very racist comments.
She does. She don't mean them like from a racist point, but they are just the stupid. Shut up. I mean, my baby looks like the Asian mailman. Have you, chink? I mean,
What?
have you
Right?
lost? Hey, nothing about nothing. I was watching Center tonight. Had somebody on there he was interviewing, and this chick just drops. Oh, I would never call him the N word. Just fully the whole thing, and they just kept along like it was nothing. He said, "Oh, don't say that," and I'm like, "Did I just hear that?"
Okay, let me find the first one. You're gonna die laughing. This is so funny. Let me tell you what, The Burning Bush by Mocking Media with Reverend.
Oh my god! I'm trying. My mind's going ahead, and I'm not going to say what it's thinking. So, but go ahead and play it.
Okay, we're gonna do part one. These videos are so good. Hold on, let me pause it. These videos are so good, it's ridiculous. They are so funny. And of course the first ones were done on of all people, Bullhorn Betty. Um, but yeah, we'll watch some of this and you'll see what I'm talking
Yeah,
about, but you
I
will
want
have
to
to go
see it.
watch the full thing. Okay, can you see it on the
Oh
screen right
yeah,
here?
there you go.
Okay. All right. So let's get a little taste. I love this is so funny. Here we go.
I think I did see one of these the other day. Oh yeah, I love this. This is hilarious. This is one where
No
the
fun to
minister
laugh.
interviews them, and this is done. This was done absolutely
Welcome
wonderful.
back to another inspiring
Yes, it
episode
was.
of the
This is
Whoever did
inspiring.
this did a lot of time and work, and it is done.
And
It's
that's
bomb.
why I'm saying, you guys, you have got to go like and subscribe this channel. I'm telling you, if you need a laugh, if you need a pick me up,
Oh,
if you
you'll
want to
laugh till
see
you go on the
editing,
floor hurting.
oh my goodness.
Let it roll.
Okay. Oh, it's good stuff. Okay.
Burning Bush. I'm your host, Reverend Lee Jonathan of the LJR Ministries in Manatee County, Florida. Today, I have a very special guest for all of you. Those of you who live in Manatee County may know her as Andra Griffin. For others, especially those who walk those YouTube streets, you may know her best as Bullhorn Betty. Some of you may be curious as to why I'm allowing Betty on my platform today. As many of you are aware, I am strongly against the Christian nationalism movement, and I feel that it is my duty to you, my viewers, to expose the hypocrisy of those who believe in this movement. After all, when Jesus walked the earth, he challenged his disciples to love the marginalized, oppressed, and disenfranchised. Christian nationalism establishes religious superiority over others, which in turn hinders the missional mandate of the gospel. After all, Jesus asks that we humble ourselves and that we should not rise above others. Having said that, I've been watching Betty for about 3 years, and I've even participated in chat on many of her live streams. After many hours of watching her alleged content, it is in my humble opinion that she is indeed a hypocrite. I've invited her to this conversation to confront her over her words and actions, for I feel that she has the right to defend and try to explain herself. She was here earlier but left suddenly due to making some chicken. Let's see if she's here. Betty, are you with us?
Hey guys, so I am back because I'm cooking right now. I'm trying to cook something chickeny so I can get some nutrients in me. I'm not feeling all that hot today, as you guys can imagine.
I'm sorry that you're not feeling well today. You do sound slightly unwell and severely bloated. My invisible thoughts and prayers go out to you. I'd like to talk to you for a moment about your channel. That's if you're feeling well enough to do so.
Nobody is forcing you to be on my channel. Nobody's forcing you to watch. As a matter of fact, you go out of your way to watch me. So if you're going to continue to watch me, I'm going to continue to ask to stop trolling my chat. That is so stupid.
I think that you have your false idol red hat on way too tight. I and many others don't understand how calling out your lies and hypocrisy is considered trolling.
I'm going to ask again, if you do not like the content on my channel, go someplace else for your information, for your entertainment, okay? And I also want to say this is an entertainment channel.
What in the world is an entertainment channel?
If you don't like the content, change the fucking channel.
Betty, there's absolutely no reason for you to start spewing profanities. Remember, keep thy tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile. You should really think about changing your ways before it's too late.
Trying to tell Bullhorn Betty to change her ways ain't happening. It just isn't. It never will. Why? Because you're a fucking stranger trying to tell me how to live my life. It's not going to happen.
You know, there's a stranger who has this book, the Bible something, maybe you've heard of it, where he lays out how we should live our lives. I was actually just quoting a passage from it that pertains to your use of foul language.
And that's the shit I'm talking about right there. Like, why are you even fucking here is my question.
I'm here because my mommy and daddy held hands, and also because it's my channel.
Just knock the shit off. Move the fuck on. It's pretty fucking simple. You guys are bullies. Non-stop bullies. And you're trying to convince the whole world that I'm the bully when they see you coming into my chat every single fucking day with your nonsense and bullshit.
Persecution complex much?
It's not me, babe. It's you. This is all you do. This is all you'll ever be worth, is going into somebody's chat and disrupting them. That's it. Nobody's coming into your chat and disrupting you because you don't matter. You understand that, right?
Oh, please, great and powerful Betty, please tell me how to live so that I might matter again.
Now you want me to tell you how to live your life. I'm happy to do that. Let me know who you are. I'm happy to tell you how to live your life and everything about you. Just let me know who you are.
Yes, she is.
Who am I? I'll tell you who I'm not, a Christian nationalist.
You are the problem in the world. You understand that. It's not anybody else. It literally is you. It's your whole group of people. It's your whole echo chamber.
My group of people within our own echo chamber? That's rich coming from someone who's MAGA.
Really? Do you know how childish that shit sounds? Like, seriously, grow the fuck up here on YouTube. It's getting fucking annoying. It's getting ridiculous. It's becoming childish. Show me who you are so we can look in your past and see how perfect you are. I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. But you won't, because you're a fucking coward.
Betty, enough. I think it's time to end this interview.
For what?
Well, I think I proved to our listeners at home just how much of a hypocrite you are. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before I let you go?
You'll never grow. You'll never be anything living in a place of hate. So I hope everybody wakes up tomorrow and decides to be on the better side of the bed and tries to be more productive instead of so damn hateful.
Betty, that was actually really sound advice.
People need to start condemning people being so fucking.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you, Betty. And thank you to everyone watching. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time on The Burning Bush.
That's
Okay.
hilarious.
If that does not point out hypocrisy,
Oh my God.
I don't know.
And I know I've seen somebody else do it. They can use AI generated statements, but I think those statements are just clips.
They are Bullhorn Betty. They're
her
clips.
lives, and
They are. That's the brilliant part of it. Like
yeah,
all of the clips they use.
the one with her and Brittany in it. Have you seen that one?
Oh my
Where
goodness!
they're
The
interviewing both
last
of them,
one.
and one of them will leave, and one of them come back. And that's funny.
It killed me. I tell you what. When I wake up and there is a new mocking media drop, I am there. My day is better and brighter.
Oh yeah, it just makes you laugh. I mean, which laughter is
Oh.
the best medicine you can take.
Absolutely. I mean, he'll have. I tell you what, it will have you rolling.
I'm sure. I wonder who's
laughing.
behind this channel.
I do not know, but I'm a fan.
Oh, I am too. I am too, because it just makes life, and it it doesn't just pinpoint certain people. It it goes after everybody.
Yeah, it does. Everyone that.
Hey, let me ask this, a little serious. Betty, she has been told not to do whatever. She's going to be locked up.
She going to jail. She going to jail.
I mean, what she's been told not to do is like she is defying double down, going 100-mile-an-hour, doing it twice.
Connie.
I mean, she ain't in the right mind. I honestly don't think she's thinking. And she's always in her damn pajamas. I mean, seriously. I mean, every time I see her, she's in pajamas and just I don't know.
And you know what? I don't have any problem with people wearing pajamas. I mean, hats off to the man that's wearing a suit,
Whatever,
shirt, and a
but
tie
screaming
with
lady in
both pants
pajamas
on,
every
doing
morning.
right.
I think she's entertaining. I'm being honest. I mean, when I don't watch her a lot, but if she pops up, I'll watch her a little bit and I laugh because I mean, she'll say stuff that's so outlandish. I mean, you can't possibly believe it unless you're brainwashed. But evidently, it's easy to brainwash a certain amount of people because they're there and they're in chat. Just yeah, that's right. You're right,
You
Betty.
know
You're
what, though?
so going on.
The scary part about Betty is she really does harass people.
Oh yeah.
And
it's not enough for her to say
does.
something about you. She's going to get in your face and come knock on your door or whatever. She ain't right.
Yeah. And I mean, it's one thing to have an opinion about anybody involved in a case and discuss that opinion. And it's something else to go and even protest. You know what I mean? But what she does is not protesting.
I heard her
It's
the other day.
harassing.
She's made some statements about somebody done this and that. And she made some statements that were just so ridiculous and defamatory towards, I think it was Proudfoot. I mean, literally, if what she was saying, if the law had that information, they'd be locked up. And she's saying them like it's absolute gospel
The
and
facts.
fact,
Right.
and it's backed by evidence and videos. And 3 a.m. they was out in the drive. I mean, just crazy stuff that nobody believes but her.
Right. I don't know. I think that there are some
really
people that take what she says as gospel. You know what I mean? Like I
people
really
watch
do.
all the time, but she believes it herself. I'm convinced of that.
Absolutely.
That's her. You know, they say perception is reality, and that's her perception. She believes it.
Yeah.
I mean, she screams it every day, about an hour and a half. When does she go to court? Because she's getting locked up.
I think she goes to court next month.
You know, it just depends on what judge she gets, but they're going to let her know, lady, we've given you a warning. We've done this. We've done that. I'm afraid I'm going to have to give you 90 days time out. Unless
Now,
she's bragging
Wilby,
about things. That's what's going to
mark
happen.
her words. Terry Bowersox will go to jail before she does.
Yeah, I mean, how could a judge not say that with the way she's behaved and been told not to?
She's already been arrested for it once.
That's what I'm saying. He told her absolutely do not do this, this, and this. And what has she done? Every day, done it 100 miles an hour, loud as she can, right out in the open. What's the judge going to think?
You know
Lady,
what?
you have
Sometimes
defied me. I give you a chance, a second chance, a second and a half chance, probation, double secret probation. And now I'm going to have to just give you 90 days time to think.
right?
That's what's going to
Like,
happen.
there's some kind of disorder where people are defiant, and I can't think of what it's called right
I've
offhand.
heard of that. I know what you're talking about.
I,
Authoritative defiant disorder, something like that, where you don't believe authority has the say so or whatever,
right,
which they
like,
absolutely do.
right. You know what? I think BJ is actually suffering from it just a little bit now too, with the whole lawsuit.
No, she's just plain stupid.
Oh my
I mean, I'm
goodness.
sorry. She's just the way we used to say it when you try to be a little more polite. She's just not smart. She's a whole lot not smart. That's a good way of saying, she's just dumb. She just don't know. I mean, I'm sorry, she don't know. I don't think she's ever been to court to pay a traffic ticket.
And I would actually feel bad for her, but it's willful ignorance.
Listen, we live in a time with YouTube and Google that you can learn how frogs reproduce in the Amazon forest and learn every factual information possible about them in about 30 minutes. So why would you not go do something legal without educating yourself to whatever degree possible? I mean, there's no excuse.
I'm just saying, unless somebody sues me for something and I have to fight it, you're not going to see me in a lawsuit that I don't think I can win. Period.
She don't even have a clue what she signed up for. I think they called her and got her all excited. Yeah, I'll sign it.
It's almost like they rizzed her up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they
just
realized,
dropped
hey,
her
this
off.
girl ain't got a lot of brains. We can pop her. We can get her excited. Ain't no problem. We can get her locked up on signature in about 10 minutes. My part of the suit is about getting grannies to not. No, that's not the way it works, Brittany. You're so far off from reality, you have no clue. You're in a RICO lawsuit. You're claiming these people acted in consort with one another in an criminal enterprise to do all the things you said they do. That's not what your part ain't your part. You're part of all the everybody else. She don't even understand that. She's yet to understand it.
And they're asking for relief from the court of silencing and depriving someone else of their constitutional rights.
Yeah, you got the right to lie, say awful things about people. Just say about anything negative and hurtful you can every day about somebody if that's what you want to do. That's the game. That's the rules. They can't stop you from doing that.
Right. And as long as it doesn't hurt, like if they can't prove, that's the whole thing people don't understand about these lawsuits they're getting themselves wrapped up into. You have to prove to the court that not only did the person know they were lying when they said it, okay, you have to prove that, but you also have to prove that you suffered damages from it.
That's right. And the RICO thing, there are predicate acts that all of them, there's a bunch of them. You got to prove not one of them, but every single one of them. And if you fail to prove
35.
half of one of them, the whole thing is shot.
There's like 35 prerequisites.
Yeah, and the one thing that just most obvious is no, Granny and Barbecue never knew each other, never met one another. So how could they have acted in a criminal conspiracy enterprise to do what they did to these people? It's impossible. It's nonsense. You can't make it up. Dots don't connect. They go in opposite directions.
Right. And you know what, Connie? I would agree with that, except for one small problem with that. Brittany went on her live and said, "Do you think I didn't read it? Do y'all think I'm stupid? Of course I read the lawsuit."
Well, I'll tell you one thing. She ought to be glad that it is a fake document, and she didn't actually, under the law, swear to tell. Her testimony is not sworn to oath because it was never actually a legitimate document, in my opinion. Because if it was, and what she said is absolutely 100%, she's guilty of lying.
Oh,
No,
see,
she
that's
ain't
the
laid
problem.
bed.
She
She ain't been
actually
scared for
is.
this or that. She's just mad because she got something said about it.
Because they filed it with the court, even though it is written by a clown, it is still a binding legal document. They filed
You
that.
might be right. She might still be bound to the truthfulness of her statement, but here's the way I see the whole thing with Granny and Brittany. Granny is the pretty girl that Brittany is not, and Brittany is jealous, and that's where all this behavior comes from. That's just
Wow.
the way from a male perspective, that's the way I see it. I'm being honest.
Wow. I
Because,
don't.
Granny's a more attractive person than Brittany is. Let's just face it. And I think
I
it
see
bothers Brittany. It
Granny.
hurts her. And I'm not judging. I don't fat shame. I don't ugly shame or nothing. But I just think it stems a lot
That's
from
true,
that.
Connie. That's true, Connie. She said she could have not read it. She lies. That is true, Connie. Nobody can argue that, girlfriend.
I
Nobody.
don't know how she could have read it, or even not cringe when she looks what she supposedly said. I fear
Well,
countless nights I've shook in my bed or something.
and then she gets on YouTube and talks trash. She's so scared that she has to attack the opposition first, I guess.
Yeah, but she does it trying to claim some kind of the only
Victimhood.
reason I have to say this is because they're so evil and mean, and they've said such nefarious things about me. I have to defend myself. No, you're just trying to kick back dirt just like they've kicked at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got an idea. What if one of you said, you know what, I don't give a damn if they call me this, that, whatever. I don't care. And they just ignored it. If that would have happened at some point in time about a year ago,
Yeah.
they can call me anything. I don't care. I will not say nothing. It does not matter to me. If anybody would have said that, where would we be now instead of where we're at?
I don't know. I don't know where we would be right now.
I
But
mean, it's just, I know I'm saying, that people
I know
got,
where we've ended up is not good.
no, I mean, if people got a right to say something back when people say something, but I mean, I'm just the type of person, I would, someone say, you know what, I don't care if you call me this, that, call me anything you want to and do it all day long. I don't care. Have a good one. I don't
I'm one
give
of those
people that kind
people.
of power.
Look, someone can call me names and run my name through the dirt all day. I do not care as long as they don't lie on me to
There
try
you go.
and make
There
it
you go.
look
As
like
long as
I
they
did
don't just tell
something bad.
nefarious. I mean, just like, you've done this and you've done, she cheated on her husband, or whatever. Just they'll come up with the thing they think is going to hurt you the worst.
Yep. You can talk about your opinion to me all day long. I do not care. You can call me a hoochie skanky mama, toad
A
frog,
bad
three
mother or
eyed,
whatever.
whatever. I do not care. But whenever you lie on me intentionally and know that you're lying whenever
Yeah.
you're saying it because you know there's proof otherwise, and to defame me because you stabbed me in the back, no, then I'm going to speak on it. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on me. You can call me out of my name. You can say what you want. I do not care. Every time someone talks bad about me, I know it puts my name in an angel's ear, but don't lie on me and don't say that I'm disgracing um someone when I'm not, especially whenever that person could possibly be perceived as a victim. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's not right.
It's not right. And it's not right to try and make your friends pick and choose between each other. That ain't right. That's childish. That is some grade
That's right.
school, middle
Correct.
school, mean girl bullcrap. That's exactly what it is. That's
And the problem when
exactly
you
what it
do
is.
that, when you start putting that on
Jealous.
people, people have to draw the line in the sand. So then all of a sudden you got this side on the equation and the us and them, and we're against them and they're against us, and let's just do battle. And that,
Yep.
people shouldn't have to be pigeonholed into that.
Right. And you know what? Sometimes I can't help but wonder if, there's going to be people break out into some kind of stop dance and challenge each other because it's like a high school drama movie or someone's going to bust out. You know what I
Most
mean?
people don't. Most people don't really. I mean, you don't see many people in these communities stand up and question anything. They just blindly kind of go with the flow. Like I like Granny. She's been respectful to me. She's been good. But has she been perfect and all this? No. But
No.
she hadn't tried to paint a reality that's ridiculous either. She's been pretty fairly upfront about it. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Um, I've seen her own up to her crap. You know what I'm saying?
that's right. And
Um,
here's the thing too. I think both of them are. I don't want to say guilty, but have influenced their own chat and subs. At times, there's been things done by the subs that nobody knows who that have maybe called this or done that, and that's
you,
made the situation worse.
you've got a very valid point because let me tell you something. The die-harders, they seem to go look for this dirt
Oh, you
on
got some
people
sneaky
for other
people,
creators and
buddy. I'm
stuff.
telling you.
I don't. I got
I,
I
I
got
don't
Miss
either.
Connie and I got my Discord, with people in it, but I mean there ain't nothing like good luck trying to find some juicy business in
That's
there
right.
because it's all case files. You know what I mean? So,
That's right.
um, but and normally I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like drama. Like whenever I watch TV and stuff, I'm not one of those people that watches reality shows and drama and all this, that, or the other. I watch scientific documentaries and stuff like that. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a high powered microscope in my garage.
Oh yeah.
Um, but
Sometimes if a couple channels have some beef and a little drama, hey, maybe one video that gets through it and that's it. Hey, let's move on. And at that point,
yeah,
the hell with all that. I'm not going
right.
to address it, but just over and over and over and
Yeah.
never letting it go.
And then, and what's even worse is worse than, the drama between content creators is you have actual content creators out here that say, "Oh, I'm true crime, I'm this, that, or the other." But then if you question anything in their chat, they'll block you
They
immediately.
block you. Yeah. And that's what I don't like because discussion and debate with respect is what should drive everything. Not everybody's got to agree with uh, whatever narrative a side is pushing. But you're right. You go into some of these places and you say something a little against the grain, boy, it's like they turn the tide against you and you're either blocked or they're attacking you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think it should be that way. I think it's okay for everyone to have their opinions, even if
That's
you
right.
don't like their opinions. Even if you don't think that um like maybe you're talking about a case and you think someone's guilty and or
Yeah,
you
I
don't
was in
think
a
they're guilty.
true crime. I go with the Cipher with T and LFT there. That's where I call home. And we were discussing the Menendez thing here about a month and a half ago. And we had about 30, 40 in there. And we had people that didn't think they should be let out of, prison and others that did. It was a good debate, respectful. And I understood why they thought the way they thought. And I thought, and hey, it was all good. And I enjoyed that because it wasn't everybody just screaming, they need to let them out, they need to let them out, or they needed to, one way. It was actually a discussion, and you don't see that. You go to Brittany's channel, they're going to be talking Seth
There we
is
go.
good guy and the Proudfoots are the bad guys. And if you go to some other places, it's the absolute opposite.
You're gonna have to re-say all that because
If you
we
go to
had
Brittany, the Green Team, any of those channels, it's going to be Seth is okay. He's the good fella, and he's the nice, good person. And the Proudfoots are they're acting suspicious. Something ain't right. And then you go to the other side of that equation, and people think the opposite, and they don't bend for nothing.
yeah, even with the Brian Koberger, what we were initially
Same there,
talking
same
about.
there. You have very few places where you can openly debate and give your honest
Right?
opinion, or you'll get
Right?
blocked or attacked.
Yeah, it's okay to say this is how I feel about it. It's
That's
okay to
right.
say I think they're guilty or I think they're not guilty. But what is not okay is to gaslight people and
Yeah, I can't
create
believe you think
fake
that and blah blah blah. You're
information and
wrong and this and that. No, you may be right. We'll find out when they have the trial. Who am I to
right.
say?
You know, healthy debates is what led to the ability. I mean, think about it. That's what a trial is. It's a debate between the
That's right.
prosecution
You're exactly
and the
right.
defense. It's a debate. Um, it's arguing. Court That's what they
That's
do.
what
They
lawyers do.
shouldn't.
That's what they argue. They argue the point.
Yeah. Matter of fact, my dad told me one time that I was so argumentative that I should have been a lawyer.
He was
Um,
probably right.
he probably was.
Now,
God rest his
the
soul.
case you were talking about in your local area, anything happening on that?
Oh my goodness, there is stuff going on with that. And you know what the God's honest truth is that case is endangering people's lives.
How far do you live from Mena?
I don't. I
I'm not
I
trying to
probably
dox you, and I don't want to. Now, so if that's
a
uncomfortable,
couple
back off.
hours. We'll say
Huh?
we'll say a couple hours.
Okay, I got the reason. I've read voluminous information books on the government on the entire CIA and the drug uh, story. That went through our history in the '80s.
Hmm.
Some crazy stuff is going on with Mena, Arkansas. Them two boys at that railroad track supposedly just laid down, and got run over by a train.
They didn't. They
They got
didn't.
in on CIA operation. They got snuffed.
Yeah, that's
I can
exactly
tell you
what
so
happened.
much about that. It's mind boggling.
Well, and you know what's worse is those sheriffs and all of those people.
The whole bunch was tied in. Clinton,
They
uh,
still are. That's the problem.
and the whole thing. They had to use that base of operation to make money for the Sandinista rebels and all that. George Bush was running the CIA then, and the whole thing was run. And all the local sheriffs and around all them counties, they knew what the gig was, and
Yep.
they had to let things be the way it was. Everybody got paid. Believe me.
Here in Arkansas, you got the sheriffs. They'll bust somebody cooking dope, and then they'll take the person and say, "Well, we'll do this, that, or the other, and you won't serve no time, but you got to
Oh
cook
yeah.
for me."
I used to belong to a golf club in Tennessee, the Stevenson family from Arkansas, which is the premier banking family, investment bankers in Arkansas.
Uh
They
huh.
run the state basically.
Yeah.
They were members there. I played golf with him several times. That man wielded a lot of power.
But what happened is whenever Mena got too hot, they just transitioned out into the other counties and stuff, and they're still operating.
Oh yeah.
That's the whole thing.
When
People
I
don't
drove across
understand
the
it's
country,
still
when I
going
drove through
on.
Arkansas, I was amazed at how isolated some pockets were from others.
Yeah.
I mean, you got
Yeah.
towns in Little Rock and some of the bigger places. Once you get out between them places, buddy, it's
You
it's
step
wild,
off into
wild
the
west. You get
twilight
some of them towns,
zone.
them sheriffs run it with an iron hand. Law and order is what they say it is, not what the book says.
Yeah, that's exactly right
I'm
too.
telling you.
There's people end up like, and let me tell you something. I got a case I'm covering. I'm fixing to. I'm not going to talk about it tonight. I'm just going to tell you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been working with the family on this case, and to be honest with you, it reminds me of the Ellie Greenberg case,
Yeah.
except it wasn't a stabbing; it was a shooting. And I'm telling you now, right now, that is arcicide at its finest. And we call it arcicide because it's the cops involved in getting these
Yeah.
people killed
Been
intentionally and literally.
That's right. Been many a bootlegger in Arkansas. The sheriff and the bootlegger in that county were tied to the hip,
Yep.
and things operated a little different back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and not just in Arkansas, but those places like that were prime ground for it because it's just too easy.
Arkansas is still prime ground for it
Yeah, it's
because you got
more
them.
so than some of the other states that have got more populated. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I would believe. I mean, me in Arkansas, they landed jumbo jets down there full of cocaine from one side to the other and unloaded it out in open daylight, and everybody knew it. Uh, drove it right through town, out of town to the different places. People going to the banks with truckloads full of $100 bills, depositing them. Where did you get that? They know where that come from. And it went on for a long time. Long time.
Am I back yet?
Yeah, you're here.
I think they're having to work on my internet because it keeps dropping in and out for me.
Oh, really? I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, that me in Arkansas and what the government and all that went on, it's an interesting read. It's
It's
crazy.
still going on though. That's what most people
Yeah,
like
I
really.
wouldn't doubt it. Once you get corruption in an area and you realize how easy it is to control a dozen or so county sheriffs or county sheriffs in a certain area, it's just too easy to.
Right. And once you have judges in on it that sit in the chamber for years and
Oh
years and
yeah,
years, or on the bench for years and years and years, you can't do anything to fix it unless you literally just go in and wipe everyone out.
that's
And
right.
see, then the lawyers and everybody is making money off of this drug enterprise
Absolutely.
that there's no stopping it.
They
There's
all
just
benefit from the way the game's been played.
yes, yes. And then you got the jails where they're pimping out the inmates and stuff,
Yeah.
and I mean this all really
It's
happens.
it's just you can't make it up. If you build a jail cell, they will put people in it.
They'll write laws just to fill them up
Oh yeah, we incarcerate way too many people. We more per capita than any country on earth. It's
for the
time for that to
wrong
stop.
things. We incarcerate people for the wrong things.
Yeah, we nonviolent crimes. We got to figure out better solutions.
Yep, yep. But then they go soft on the violent crimers.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's where they get it bass backwards. I mean, people that do harm to these children and to others that are violent, lock them up and keep them up. But hey, some of this other stuff, and a lot of us do. A lot of people with mental health issues end up in prison just because they end up self medicating for trying to find some kind of solution that they don't get from mental health. Uh,
Oh, the war against drugs is the biggest joke in American
oh,
history.
it's retarded.
It's absolutely stupid.
It's retarded.
The war on drugs literally incriminates people to where they can't even get the help they need to get off of them. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
And all day long, they will take your money for your violation of law without offering you any help to prevent you from repeat offending whenever it comes to drugs. All day long.
Yeah.
It's like clockwork, in and out of court. Go sit in a court and
Yeah. And then all these counties have these little
case.
programs where if you get sentenced, well, you need to go to step one, something, blah, blah, blah. And if somebody runs this program who's in cahoots with somebody in that county, they show them some videos and do a little few things here and there, and maybe it helps, maybe don't. But you got to go to them and you got to pay a little fee every time you go. These people get charged. I know some people have. And it's just it's a system grinding them down.
Yep. It impovers people. It takes their power away.
Oh yeah, and what little money they do have, they're going to a class of, like I say, step one drug awareness, something ordered by the court. Every time you go, you give them a $20 bill, and you got to go 12 times in 3 months. Well, most of these people, $20 every couple times a week. Hey, that adds up in some people's budgets. Not mine, maybe not yours, but some of these people on the fringes, and it just makes it's like you got them by the neck. Let's just keep them down. Don't get me wrong. We don't want them to continue the same behavior, but the things you do to them, it's like, how do they have a chance to ever escape from all this nonsense?
They don't. And the thing is they weren't even committing violent crimes, and now they're homeless. They ain't got a job no more. They done confiscated their vehicle because that's what the drugs were found in.
Yeah.
So they ain't even got to ride back and forth to work now.
And it's hard for them to get jobs once they get convicted of felony. And that I understand why certain places don't, but that's like a double whammy, like your lifetime of sentence. Can't get a decent job. It's just, I don't know. It just, once it beats them down, it just keeps them down for the most part. Not many people get past it.
But then they'll let people that have hurt children and stuff out with a slap on the hand and fine.
That's what gets me. I mean, if somebody does something to child one time ain't no second time, brother. If it's not the president of the country, your head would get chopped off.
There shouldn't be no reprieve for that kind of stuff.
No, because
they shouldn't be never seeing the light of day again.
Themselves. I believe that with all my heart. People that get that ingrained in them, that are attracted like these young kids or whatever,
It is the most highest repeat offense
Yeah.
crime in the nation. But they just line them up, they tag them, book them, and turn them loose.
I'm gonna tell you a story, and I wasn't gonna tell this because I felt kind of weird. Where I popped up on YouTube, hit search last night, and a bunch of lives popped up, and I looked at one, and look, these little kids, like these little, probably I'm gonna say 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old girls. For two of them are on a live, doing a live. I'd never seen this, so I popped in and just watched for a second. This one guy, or I don't know
Yep.
who they were, any of them. They would just whisper like,
Connie, I'm with you.
I just watched, and I'm not that kind of person. I'm gonna tell you though. Somebody said, "Make me moderator, make me moderator," blah blah blah, and I kept watching. And I thought, and I watch some of the comments like, I bet I can guess your age, and I'm thinking, I just felt this eerie sense. These little girls have no clue, but they're like scores of just icky people in this chat pretending to be one thing, and I know I know they were. I could just tell. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I watched for a little bit, and I said, you know what? This is sick. And I said, I did not know this went on. I'd heard about it, but I'd never seen it. I'd never seen a child's live pop up anyway. But I said, it's obvious what some of these people in chat, I just don't believe for a minute they're teenagers, friends of this, asking to be moderator. Make me moderator. Make me a moderator. Once they become moderators, they can hit everybody's name and go to their home channel page, whether they create content or not, and know more about them.
Yep.
And gather more. And I finally
grab that URL, mods.
I young ladies, I said, don't make anybody a moderator you don't know, and please be careful. You don't know who's in this chat or who you're talking to. And I left. And I wasn't going to say that because I thought they'll think I'm a creep. And I thought, no, I don't care what they think. They can call me and research me all they want to. But I knew what I was reading in the comments for 5 minutes was all I was there. And I thought, this is awful. Them kids have no clue.
And the internet has actually made it worse because now those people have access to the images and things like that let them fantasize about their icky thoughts.
I just read the comments, and I'm telling you, Gina, I knew that some of these people were creeps.
Yes.
Little teenage 12-year-olds talking to other 12-year-olds, and I didn't make but one comment. And that was what I said before I left, and I meant it.
Yeah.
And I hope their parents read it. I really do.
We have Bark.
They were so naive.
We have Bark, and we actually our parental controls on our Bark. We look, my daughter and my son's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And he still can't get online unless
most people
exactly
do. Like I say, I had never seen it live of kids, little young teenage girls that age. It never popped up. When I hit, like, I want to see all the lives, it'll show the people I'm sub to and then a bunch more that I'm not. And I saw there, I thought, that's odd. I've never seen that in my life. And I just kind of, how you can hold the thing next to the volume and without turning it on, you can listen. And I listened. It's like they were whispering. I thought, man, this is odd. It's 11 o'clock at night. And these little teenage girls, I don't know how old they were, 12, 13, 14, 11, I have no clue, don't care. But they're young, too young to understand what was going on. And like I say, I chopped in, listened to some comments for about 5 minutes. I'm like, they have no idea the predators are in their midst. I don't think they had a bit of clue.
I think that you should have to verify your age to be able to access some of the stuff, even on YouTube. Like my channel, I don't think that young kids should be watching my content.
That channel,
that's why there's age restriction on it.
That was going to hurt herself the other night. We have an age thing in there, and we sort of saying, we said, hey, you're only 15, you shouldn't be in here. But once he kept on, we weren't going to kick him out for no way, shape, or form. But something ought to be happening. But evidently, them girls' parents didn't have controls because they were sneaking, because they were whispering. And the comments I was reading, the more and more I heard, I was like, wow, this guy was a person. I don't know, it's a guy, I don't know who it was. But they
and you know what's worse? And you know what's worse? Those people know that those little girls aren't being watched because they're able to do it to begin with, and that gives them the opportunity to slide in there and be a creep.
Oh yeah, and believe I get from what I understand, they're wide open, busy doing it. I wasn't gonna say that because it was really disturbing to me, and I was like,
No, that's actually, something that should be pointed out.
If
Things that
anybody's
we
got
do
little
need to be
teenage
talking about.
girls, even boys too, I'm just telling you, they get in there, they sneak up and they do a live stream where they think they're friends, which most of them are, but there'll be people slide in there pretending to be another 12, 13-year old, make comments.
Yeah.
Because the comments I read that night, they were not fellow 12-year-old girls or whatever age they were predators saying things like, I think I can guess your age, and let me be moderator, and just creepy comments that I could read right through. I don't think they saw anything weird about it, but to me it was like, no, that don't pass mustard. Neither does that.
Right.
All of them.
Well,
Just hell.
did you happen to catch Jay's live stream where she had her son do the gaming thing and all
I
that?
heard about that where she went and seen how many.
Yes. Did you see how
It was the
quick?
same scenario. I heard about that, did not see it, but I heard somebody
Yes.
describe it. It was the same
It was
scenario. I'm
just
telling you, it makes
that quick. That quick. Someone was like, "This is my information. Give me your information. Let's talk." And I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh my goodness."
Yeah, and some of these kids are starving for some connection, just like any human being. Maybe they don't have a lot of friends at school, but man, it's just dangerous. I think,
Uh,
like I say, that could very well happen to Sebastian.
And parents can say, "Oh, well, I'm busy. I'm working. I'm doing this, that, or the other." There's so much technology available today to protect our children from technology for a reason. You
Yeah.
know?
If they slip through the cracks, they better slip through a little skinny one that nobody thought about, because parents really ought to be thinking about all of them, I would hope.
Yep. Yep. So, but I agree with you. I mean, it's actually it's a blight.
Yeah, it opened my eyes. Like I say, I had heard about the thing Jay described, but I didn't go back and watch it. But then last night, I mean, now that you bring that up, yeah, it sounds like a carbon copy of what I just happened to. I don't know why I even clicked it. I thought this is odd, and I clicked and I just read the comments, and when I couldn't even hear what they were saying because the two little girls were whispering, "Oh, look what so and so said," but I could see the comments. I was like, "No, that don't pass mustard." And if any parents are watching this right now,
Yes, Connie.
hair would be coming out of their head.
Right.
Because they weren't
Right.
my children, and my hair was coming out of my head.
Yep. And sadly today, I think social media um, plays a large role in our children and how they even develop the perception of themselves and the world around them. And I think if you're a parent and you're not watching what your kids are doing and aware of it and guiding them, then the world is who is educating your children
That's right.
and guiding them.
I can't imagine bullying, which is a part of growing up. It happens, let's face it. Not right. Shouldn't be tolerated, but it has. It's way just inherent in us in some weird way.
Yep.
I can't imagine with social media what kind of hell some of these high school students go through.
College students, even
Yeah, but I mean,
grown folks,
yeah, but I
everybody,
mean, we go through it on
but
YouTube.
especially
High
kids.
school kids, they're not equipped for a lot of this.
Yep.
And it's already a tough time anyway. And then some of the stuff that probably happened, I can't imagine. Not good.
Well, you got to think about it. How can we equip our kids to be aware and knowledgeable with the truth and arm them with what they need whenever we
Teach them
start
all
lying
the
to them?
awareness and preparedness you can about scenarios and let them know what happens.
Well, our kids don't trust us anymore. And the reason our kids don't trust us anymore is we're so wrapped up with thinking that we have to feed their emotional needs with made up characters and stuff like this, that our kids don't believe us anymore. So they don't even want to listen to what we have to say, even if it's for their own good. I mean, we start lying to them. How old were you when you found out about Santa?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We start lying to them as soon as they're old enough to be lied to. And then we expect them to be able to understand the
And make good
difference,
decisions.
right, and make good decisions whenever we're setting the bad example. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just hope, you just pray to God and you do the best you can. I get, everybody does, or they think they do. And, but it's just so many
And I
holes.
bring that up. I bring that up about the Santa Claus because when my daughter was in kindergarten, I got a call from the school And it was probably about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas. I got a call from the school, and this woman was having an absolute meltdown because my daughter had another little kid crying on the school bus at
She
five
let
years
out the
old.
big secret.
She let out the big secret.
Yeah.
And the school was upset with my
Like your daughter
daughter.
just committed the worst
Worst sin
atrocity ever.
ever. Okay. And I was like, and this is my daughter's fault. How? Who lied to the kid and told him there was a Santa?
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Have you
sorry that
parents
the
not
kid
figured
just
out
got a
all your
dose of
kids are
reality,
asking the other
but
kids if there is a Santa already?
right, right,
And they really probably don't believe you, but hey, they're just going along with it because you tell them all these things about if they don't.
yeah. And see, the whole thing is whenever you build your child's foundation on illusions and lies, guess what is going to be the foundation for that child for the rest of their life? And
Yeah.
it's going to be okay because mommy and daddy did it. And it's not that there's anything wrong with Santa except that it's a lie, but that's the problem there in itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Once you tell them one lie, then they don't trust you. Then all these other things they want to go out and find out for themselves because they don't believe what the hell you're telling them.
Bingo.
So they're going to go right. I'm going to figure out what the deal is with all this thing they call sex or drugs or whatever. I don't believe
Right.
what they say.
And then, God forbid, they smoke pot and find out that they're not dying or having all these other problems from it and this, that, or the other. And then they think, well, if what they said about pot wasn't true, surely none of the other stuff
Yeah,
is
and to
true.
God I pray, pot is the thing they do try and they do actually have an experience and they don't venture out other things. And if they just do that, we'll be all right. But you wouldn't tell them that.
Right. Right. Whenever you mislead your children or other people in any way, you're setting the foundation for failure, literally. Like you're set up for failure with lies. And if someone wants to stroke your ego to keep you from having hurt feelings, well, if they do that based on a lie, they're not helping you or your feelings, because whenever you find out it's a lie that stroked your ego, guess what? It's going to be twice as devastating. You're going to have the original pain plus the pain of the lie on top of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just,
It's like
I
I say,
try.
I can't imagine what kids have to navigate today.
Yeah. And there's people that don't like me because I'm not going to lie to you to help your feelings. I'm going to tell you the truth because it's what you need. You know, I'm not going to stroke your ego to make you feel better. I'm going to tell the truth because it's what you need. Even if it's my truth and I don't like it, I'm going to tell it
Yeah,
if I'm right
surrounding
or wrong.
yourself with a bunch of people that agree with you and everything you do is a dangerous scenario. You need people that actually will tell you the truth, call you out when you need to. Because if you
Yep.
just listen, everybody just agrees with you, you just keep going, you get
Yep.
yourself in some crazy, hairy situations.
And and this is going to sound harsh, but the truth is, if you don't like the truth, you can change your truth. You might not be able to change the past, but you can change who you are now. And if someone's talking about something you're doing that and doesn't agree with it or can point out what's wrong with it, we should all take it as an obligation to change it if it's for the better, right?
Yeah,
But whenever
that's what's
someone is
wrong.
sitting there,
Brittany would benefit from people around her, just, giving her a little heart to heart.
I tell you what, Brittany had a very, very good, loyal friend, and she trashed that over petty jealousy with Eddie.
Yeah.
That was all petty
She's done it
jealousy.
so many times, though, to so many different people. And every time in her mind, she's the victim.
She's got to be the perpetual victim because if she is made out to be a bad person, it could hurt her money. If she takes blame for something, it could affect her revenue.
I've never heard her apologize to anybody for anything that I can recall. Not her.
Wow.
I mean, I maybe like Nana here. I think I'm sorry I didn't hear you. Like She just don't. She don't own up to much of nothing.
Well, that's not, you know what else? We're back to Brittany, but listen, she told me, well, I don't know what your problem is with me, Regina, but I wish you'd tell me. And I'm like, Brittany, I made 2 whole videos about it. What else do you want from me? I'm not going to spend all day trying to explain something to a brick in the wall. I'm just
Yeah,
not.
she ain't gonna get it anyway. So
She's not. She doesn't. She doesn't. She is so self-absorbed. She doesn't get it.
you're exactly right. She don't think outside of the box and like, what if you were in their shoes? It's all about how her life changed, or whatever. It's just ridiculous.
Yep,
She,
it's
like I say,
ridiculous.
she just don't know how to navigate through relationships. Burn the house down in the relationship where there ain't no coming back to cross the bridge.
She doesn't burn just the bridge. She burns down the
That's what I'm
island,
saying. She
the
burns it where there
mainland,
ain't no
the
coming
bridge.
back. And I mean, she does it time and time and time again.
There's nothing left to do whenever Brittany's done except sink or
No, you
swim.
can't make up. You can't kiss and make up. She's done.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
true. Yeah.
And sometimes you do get in arguments with some of your friends that you have disagreement. You don't speak for a few days, and eventually you come back and you navigate, and you process both of you, apologize, and you come back stronger. Not with her because she, like I say, she burns any possibility of that happening that there is. Because she
You know,
villainizes the other person to the point they are the most evil, vile, awful human being that's ever lived. And she's just the poor me. Look what they did to me.
yep. You know what? The thing is that gets me is even though I wasn't right and I turned my back on friends that were good friends and I messed up, it happened in such a way that I didn't lie on people and I didn't target people and go after people and make live streams about people and lie. To this very day, those people that left will still comment and say, you know,
Hate it
tell
happened.
people. Yep, yep. The other day, one of them was defending me on one of my posts and was like, "Oh, I already know BJ's full of crap because Regina's never lied to me once, and I don't. I try. I'm not gonna say I don't ever lie, but I try real hard not to because I'm so distractible that if I lie, I won't be able to keep up with it, and I know it.
Yeah. Sometimes I may not have all the information, so I may say something that doesn't take into account all that others may know. I may not know the whole entire narrative, but I don't just turn something sideways and make it something it ain't.
Right, right, and blatantly lie to twist the narrative in your favor to
What
try
she
and
did to
make
Eddie was
yourself a
beyond
victim.
comprehension.
What she did to Eddie is the lowest of the. Well, I
She
take that
painted the
back. The
narrative that
prayer
he could
thing with
just
Nana,
absolutely didn't come remotely close to doing any of that. And not
the
only
prayer.
that, she got in front of all her subs and had them believe it, and they were all swearing he was a monster too. And not
Yep,
one of them took the time to take a little time and watch the video and write down his comments, when he made them, what time, just a few little facts and to know them, and then make a decision. They all just went with the narrative. He's a monster. He's the bad guy. I can't believe he did this.
and Eddie is none of those things. Matter
No,
of fact, Eddie has one of the biggest hearts I've ever
that's
seen
right.
on a
He
human being.
stayed loyal to Brittany way past what most would.
That's the whole thing. I was on the phone with him trashing Brittany, and he's like basically telling me it don't matter what you say, she's my friend. I'm
Yeah,
hearing you out
I'm going to
because you're
remain
my
loyal.
friend, but I'm not gonna talk bad about her, you know? And that's the part that just gets
And
me.
she
He
didn't
did
even, with
defend
even
her.
all that blind loyalty, that wasn't enough.
Not even blind
I mean, that's just
because
crazy.
and she didn't she was so mad because he talked to me on the phone.
That's what really sent her over the edge. You're the evil monster, and you associated with her. Oh my God, that's unforgivable. In her mind, that's what it was.
Right. But you know what? The whole thing is look, Brittany did me dirty. I said my piece, I made my videos, and I left it at that, right?
Yeah.
I was done with it. I don't need to do anything except put the truth out there because the truth speaks for itself.
Yep.
But Brittany cannot stand it. because instead of me creating 90 different things or doing this week long fight with her, I just put out the facts. I just put out the facts and left it at that and was like, okay, this is it. I'm done with it, you know? And she cannot stand it because I would not go back and forth with her, back and forth with her. I quit feeding the monster, and that is why she cannot stand it because I dropped her like the nasty rotten potato that ain't even lukewarm no more that she is. Okay? I dropped her, and not only did I drop her, but I deprived her of attention.
Yeah, you didn't let it keep going. Like I say, what if somebody just stopped and said, I don't care what she says about me, I'm done with her.
Yeah, I said my piece. I done debunked her. I'm done debunking. Look, if I prove you out to be a liar twice, I ain't got to do it no more. I'm happy with those results. I'm done with you. That's it. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
done. But because Eddie called me, because the conversation was between me and him to begin with, whenever I seen, Jay praising him, talking about, well, this, he's a good dude, I told Eddie that because I wanted to lift my friend up. That's the only reason I told him, because Jay was talking good about him.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jay
I
was
was,
a sport about it all.
Jay, what?
She was kind of a sport about it. She's saying, he was kind, and she told us how it was. He was really, found out he was a really nice guy. He's done all this or that. And that made Brittany mad too.
Yeah, that made her bad to begin with. That made her bad to be. Just finding out that she was on Eddie's panel. And you know what? Whose place is it for Brittany to go around deciding who can be on everybody else's panel, anyways?
Eddie didn't have a clue that night. I watched that video. He was just going along being nice, and just like it was any other guest.
I went back and watched it, and I get it that Jay was kind of trolling. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
But
yeah,
but really, what she ended up doing was
she was never rude
literally
or negative because he was so nice she couldn't be.
right,
I,
and that's just who he is. That's just who Eddie legitimately
exactly. So
is.
and she just like she can't like go any more. She can't go negative. She just played along nice.
Right. Because I think he unarmed her. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And plus, Eddie always has made it well known that when you come over there for mental health channel, leave everybody's baggage at the door. He's not hearing it. He's there for
Yep.
the mental health, not these dramas. And
He's not for the drama. He is literally there so that people who have mental disorders or are going through something can talk about it in a safe place and help each other. That's what he's there for.
yeah,
That's what he's all about. And everyone is welcome because you know what? Guess what? We all suffer with our mental health from time to time. And that is a
absolutely,
fact.
absolutely. Well,
It,
I'm gonna be honest. I need to go pee, and I need to.
Yeah, I was fixing to say I have been on. I tell you what, you are a good conversation.
We've yapped on and on for a long time.
We have.
It's been good, but
It's been
yeah, it's
awesome.
I pray for everybody. I hope Brittany gets her problem solved. I'm just worried about mine, to be honest.
I pray for all of us, and Wilby, you have my prayers.
Yeah,
I
you do,
will
you
remember
do
you
too.
in my
I like to
prayers.
say, one lesson I learned that served me well on YouTube, and it's gonna sound callous, but I ain't got to be friends with none of these MFers on here. I prefer to. I prefer to be kind to you, all you guys here, to Regina, everybody in chat. I've enjoyed this, but I only give it my best effort, and you cross me and dog on me 2 or 3 times. I'm not gonna fight with you, but I don't have to be your friend. And
Right?
once I've took that approach, I've gotten along a lot better.
Yep.
It's just some people you're not going to please, and you're not going to be of use to them, so you're not going to be their friend. But it served
Yeah.
me well, and like I say, I get along with most people. So I feel like I'm about the easiest person in the world to get along with.
Yep. Well, I try to be friendly with everybody. Um, but like if someone like craps on me and I
Yeah,
become aware that they've even crapped on me, I will knock it in the bud because
yeah,
I'm not. Look, I don't have to be cruel to someone and just sit and hate on them all the time, this, that, or the other. But I certainly ain't got to go where they are
yeah.
and
I'm
put
not going to live
myself
under
in the
some lie
situation
knowing you've
for them
been
to crap
dogging
on
me
me.
behind my back, and I'm going to act like everything's fine.
Yep. Nope. Not going to do that either. I will
Yeah,
call you out. I will put the truth out there, and then I'll just leave it alone and walk
that's
away
right.
from it.
Move on. Because here's the thing:
Plant, plant the
when
seeds
you
of truth
lead
and then
people
leave it alone.
with disagreements, I'm telling you, you meet so many more wonderful people on here that will make you realize, golly, this is you just don't know how many really wonderful people there are out here. And you'll meet some more dodo heads, but you'll just meet a lot more wonderful people you'll make relationships with. I'm telling you.
Yep. I've
Like
made
I
my
say, what happened to
circles a
Brittany?
lot
Me,
smaller,
it's the
so
best thing that ever happened to me. Thank God.
yep. Thank God for thank God for understanding and wisdom, because that's really what it takes, like, to recognize Brittany, and what she
Yeah.
does for what she does. But I do pray for her still, not just for her, but for her victims, even the ones that don't even know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
some of them are not as thick skinned as the others, and it has hit them pretty tough, probably tougher than we know.
yeah,
Uh,
yep,
but you can't get wrapped up but so far in this YouTube stuff, and then you have to just do something that makes you laugh and
yep,
get around the people you know you can trust, and uh, you know the good ones once you talk to them. I mean,
yep.
you know, you
I
just
just search for honesty, and I think receipts are priceless. Um, that's now, if I have hearsay that someone lied, I can't say that they're a liar unless I have proof. But I have learned that if one person or two people is saying that person's a liar, done this, that, or the other, that's that's haters. But whenever you got 140 people deep saying this person will stab you in the back, you should probably listen to them.
yeah, they weren't all wrong.
Yeah, no, they weren't all wrong. Um, and the person that's sitting there that literally plays the victim 140
Yeah,
times,
140 times straight.
no,
Come on. And
no,
really
no, no,
has
no,
no
no.
self awareness that, hey, it took 140 relationships to screw up, and you're sitting here saying, not taking any ownership in any of them.
None of them.
None of them.
Can't even own up to falling asleep during your live streams because you're
Yeah,
quote
just, I
unquote
mean, for
tired.
example, me, if I did say, damn, y'all, I'm tired as hell, I need to go to bed. I
Right?
fell asleep. Did y'all hear me snoring? I don't know if I did or not, but it probably was. See it, but my
Right?
phone got zapped off the internet, my damn mouse flew across the wall. Just
Right?
immediately, just something crazy. I don't know why. It's like you say, why do you hide that? That don't make sense.
Right. I used to have a keyboard that had so much drool in it from falling asleep trying to moderate for T-Rev. It was unreal.
Yeah, I fell asleep during the Cavill County thing one night on a live stream because everybody was afraid they were going to miss the point he got caught. So there was a lot of streams going like 24/7 on the hunt. And I
I
fell
got your
loud,
best
hit
there.
my head on the keyboard, could hear myself snoring basically, and kind of and woke up and everybody was laughing. They said it muted me, but I literally just fell completely out. I was that tired.
Yeah. And it happens. T-Rev did it one time. You could hear him snoring in the background. It was
I've seen a lot of
hilarious.
people do it. I mean, it happens. Like say
I
that you
mean,
don't jump up and holler something crazy.
He was sleeping good. I'm talking about full on sawing logs. And we were trying to call him and message him and everything because you could just hear him snoring. And it wasn't, I mean, he was probably asleep
And
for
he
good.
didn't do that, but he used to have some
Yes,
marathon.
he did. Yes, he did.
I mean, I was thinking, what in the heck is he? I don't know. He would go and go. What would he talk about?
Oh, everything. It was true crime.
Man, I'd have
Um,
to be on something to do that.
or
That's
it was fake crime.
the
Some
guy
of
that
it was
called the
true
secret
crime.
caller in.
Yeah, the call-ins. But yeah, that I tell you what though, if he would have just stuck with what he was actually doing with true crime, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like he would have went places, but the
He
faking,
got away with the first few lies, and if he would just realize, hey, that's it, I've got far enough with them, I'm not going to do it again.
right,
He just kept dipping in the well.
right. And now to see him, I tell you what, just looking at a clip or something of him, he looks rough. I feel bad for him. Like that's the whole thing. Like, and I know, people are gonna be like, oh, she's talking crap, she's talking bad about these people, this, that, and the other. Look, no, I'm stating facts. If people are mad about the facts, they should probably change their behavior that leads to me saying it.
Yeah.
But I do not hate anyone. I do pray for my enemies. And I don't just mean pray for them to be smite down
Hey.
by God, but I do pray. I pray for my enemies because if you pray for someone to better themselves, it might actually help them change their ways to where they'll stop hurting others.
That's right.
I believe in the power of prayer. So,
Absolutely. And I don't like seeing anybody self-destruct.
yeah, no,
I
me
don't.
either.
Well, Gene,
It's
I gotta
not
go. I
fun.
got a cat over here that's like, I don't know what he's doing, but he sounds like he's about to tear something off the wall behind me.
Oh, no.
he is literally like doing something over here, but he gets so mad when he wants to play, and I get up here on YouTube. I mean, he
Yeah.
gets mad like a little baby, and
Well,
just
my
he'll
cat.
come up to the side and try to bite me, and not really
Oh,
bite me
no.
enough. I'm like, you bite any harder, and I'm gonna bite back.
Well, you better go pee and you better
But
go
I'm
play
gonna
with that
jump on. I'm
cat.
gonna go the rest of it. Look, I've enjoyed the heck out of it, and I'll see you around, and we'll get back together again.
Come back anytime.
All
You're
right, and
always
everybody,
welcome,
chat. I
Grandmother.
love you. Good night. I hope it was a gracious panel guest, and I'll see y'all around.
God
Bye
bless
bye.
you. Thank you for being here and
All
coming
right.
up. I've enjoyed it. Well, that was a wonderful, wonderful sit down session. Just I know we got way off topic. But we did cover the breaking news in the Brian Koberger case, and it is that there's been a ruling in the Idaho 4 case. The DNA evidence will stay in for the trial. Um, Thank you to our very special guest, Wilby, for being here with us tonight. Um, it's been amazing. It's been, fun. And you guys, if you haven't, go sub up to Mocking Media. Go watch the entire series. You're going to be laughing, rolling laughing, I promise you. So shout out to Mocking Media. And I will keep you guys updated on true crime. I am working on two very important cases right now. I'm not going to lie to you. One of them is dangerous. It's a very dangerous case. Um, and that would be the Anthony Shane Scott case. Um, there's people that are being targeted for speaking out about what happened to Anthony. And it's bad news because here in Arkansas, when they want you silenced, they'll silence you. And so just pray for everyone involved in that. If you guys would, I would greatly appreciate that, and I know that they would too. Pray for Anthony and his family. And I'm fixing to start covering a case about um, another case out of Forest City, Arkansas, and you guys, it is a doozy. Um, there's going to be information in this case that is just going to drop your jaw. It drops my jaw, and it breaks my heart for the family. And we're going to have interviews and stuff with the mother involved in that case. So we do have stuff going on. I know that I don't go live all the time, and but it's because the cases that I cover, I work. And when I say I work the cases, I mean I go get my own documents. Um, I go to court. I have meetings with families. I advocate for families. Oh, goodness gracious. I got a tickle in my throat that won't go away. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Um, but I advocate for these families, and I do it in more way than more than one way. But that's kind of why I'm not jumping on all this other trains that people are covering in cases and stuff, is because I already have cases that I have things going on in. I'm constantly getting updated and stuff like that to be able to do streams with you guys on. And I was just coming on here tonight, I was just going to do a short, like 1 hour live, which now we're 3.5 hours in. I think this might be our longest live ever, you guys. So, by the way, It's our 1 year anniversary for those of you that didn't know. 2 days ago was our 1 year anniversary. And 3 days ago was my birthday. It was my anniversary for being born. So um, I just want you guys to, yeah, Connie, this was supposed to be short. It was just supposed to be like an hour long live. But when you're having good conversation and discussing real stuff, it time flies when you're having a good conversation. Time just flies. So thank you, Connie. I'm 43 years young, 43 officially. 43, 43. Um, but yeah, I do have cases coming up for you. As a matter of fact, one case that I'm working on, there's so much information. It's going to be like a 2 week documentary series. And it will be packed full of information with um uh just you guys, whenever you see some of the stuff in this case, I'm not playing, it's gonna blow you away. um and then I'm still working the Anthony Scott case, and I'm still working the Troy Stroke case, and I'm still covering the Koberger case. And then we have um I didn't cover the Boswell case because I wasn't familiar with it, but I'm also fixing to be doing um, a series. Have y'all ever heard of the West Memphis Three? Y'all ever heard of the West Memphis Three? And of course, we're going to be covering the Boys on the Tracks because that relates to Anthony Scott and Jay Campbell and the Mina connection. Um, but the West Memphis Three, Damian Eccles and um, the three boys that were convicted of murder for three little boys. They got convicted, and then one of them set on death row. And okay, well, we're gonna fill everything in on it, Connie. So if you're not real, familiar with it, you'll get a chance to brush up, on stuff. Um, I was there the day that they actually did the Alfred plea. I was at the Craighead County Courthouse, and I accidentally ended up in the HBO special by accident. I didn't even know that's what was going on. It was just a little quick interview, but it's hilarious. That my part is. Um, it was just like a 15 seconds clip. But I was there and I experienced all of that. So I'm actually looking forward to covering the case with you guys because I have also I know uh I know um great, now I can't even think of his first name. Miss Kelly. His last name's Miss Kelly. Boy, I got a tickle in my throat that just won't go away. I hope I'm not getting sick. Excuse me. Um, Jason Miss Kelly, I think his name is. Anyways, I know him through my sister. My sister knows him. And I'm telling y'all right now, that boy could not hurt anyone. Like, I'm not saying like how you'd say, oh, that person would never hurt anybody. I'm telling y'all right now, he doesn't have the like motivation to hurt anyone. He's really like he is one of the most calmest, gentle people. And he's not like a genius. He's a little on the slower side, if you know what I mean, bless his heart. But he's a very like timid, compassionate person, and that's just who he is. Like he wouldn't hurt anybody. And he's one of these people that's been convicted of this murder in the West Memphis 3 case. So we're going to be talking about that too. So I'm planning on picking up with my lives. Also, we're going to be having, um, because I only have one channel, I'm going to start breaking it down. Um, if there's anything, that's off topic for true crime, then we are going to be doing those live streams, but they're going to be like during the weekends and stuff, I'm not going to be doing like this was a fluke, you know what I mean? Even though it was wonderful, but we're not going to be doing and covering extra stuff whenever I cover a true crime conversation. Um, on my channel, it's just going to be the true crime aspect of it. And then if there's any extra or anything like that, then I'm going to start covering that on the weekends, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to get, my stuff mixed up and jumbled, or I don't want it to be clickbait or anything like that. I try really hard to keep everything, even though I, make mistakes and stuff and get a name wrong here, or there, something like that. I try to keep everything as whole and factual as I can whenever we're talking about these cases, because I want to present the facts to you guys to let you be able to make an unbiased decision based on the facts to the best of my ability. So, um, we're going to have a live this Saturday, and it is going to be a free for all. Anybody is going to be welcome. Anybody can come in. Anybody can talk about any case they want to, um, even if it's just opinions and stuff like that. But it's not going to be so much of a true crime conversation as it is kind of like what happened here tonight with me and Wilby. We ended up just talking about everything. So, but we're going to do that Saturday, and then I'm going to start doing either one or two live streams a week on the cases that I'm working on, because I am literally working on a mini series for you guys. And this is the case that is going to blow your minds away. Um, we'll probably end up having, no, I can't do the live Saturday. You guys, I have an interview with the family, a sit down recorded interview with the family this weekend, um, of a murder victim. So I won't be able to do that Saturday. Well, I might be able to do it Saturday night. We'll see, but be expecting something either Saturday or Sunday, for a chill session for all of us. And so I got a story for you guys, a little wisdom story for you guys before I go, and then I'm going to call it. And I appreciate you all so much for being here. Please hit that like and subscribe maybe if you want to. But just please hit the like because it helps put us out in the algorithm. And some of the stories I cover are families that are trying to get justice for their loved ones. And it takes the public sharing these stories and it reaching people in order for any change to come about for these families. It takes that person seeing the video and hearing the video that can give the family what they need in a lot of change, these cases, to bring the change into their lives that they need. So please, just if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up and help the cause. Um, it's just a little click for you, but it's a lot more for us, and I appreciate it. And with that said, I got a story for you guys. There's a little bird flying south for the winter, or there's a little bird, and it's time to fly south for the winter. And the little bird decides, no, I'm going to be lazy. I don't want to fly. It's warm here. I ain't got nothing to worry about. So he decides to stay in his nest. Well, it starts snowing and getting really, really cold for the little bird. And finally, when it starts freezing, the bird decides, well, now it's time for me to fly south. So he leaves his nest and he starts flying, and his wings freeze up, and he falls from the sky and he lands on the ground, and he's freezing and he's shivering. And this cow comes by and craps on him, just poops all over him, right? Well, the poop is warm. So the little bird's wings start defrosting and stuff, and he's in the poop and he's warm and he starts singing because he's happy because he's warm. And then, wouldn't you know it, a cat comes by and digs him out of the poop and eats him. And there's a moral to the story. The moral to the story is everyone that craps on you ain't necessarily your enemy, but everyone that digs you out of that crap ain't necessarily your friend either. Get it? Sorry. I just, I thought I'd share that with y'all. Wisdom, right? Little story for wisdom. But I've really enjoyed tonight and being here with you all. Shout out to Wilby. You guys go sign up for Mocking Media. Love it if you haven't. It's hilarious. And be kind to your neighbors. Love your enemies. Pray for them. Um, be the change. Be the change. Change starts with you. And as always, in the wonderful words of Crystal, and what is true if you are listening, I miss you so much. Um, and I'm sorry about everything with BJ because, like I said, I live with that regret. My friends I lost over BJ are what I live with in regret. Um, but in the wonderful words of Crystal, share a smile and save a life because you never know. The life you save might just be your own. And with that said, lock your windows and doors. Be kind to one another. Kindness is free, and hate costs us so much. Be safe out there in the world, you guys, because it's crazy out there. And with that said, you guys, blessings and good night.